Caden, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
All right, let's get ready to rock and roll.
Okay, I will play you some music and...
You're live. Of our doubleheader here in our Super Regional between the Cedar Reds and the Desert Hills Thunder. Cedar pulled off a one-run victory earlier in the day, and so that forces a game 3. I got Jackson, who is here with me. Can you hear me, Jackson?
Yep, I got you.
Awesome, awesome. We're good to rock and roll. So, Jackson, you played here at Desert Hills. Know a lot of the dudes on the team. Take me through what they're thinking right now. They've just split the first 2 games. You know, you got this winner-take-all to go into the state tournament. Where are they at right now as far as Desert Hills goes?
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to find that balance between staying loose and not being too uptight because you are favored in this series. You just dropped a close game to really a rival in your region that you've played. Already, this would be the 5th game this year between the 2 teams, so you know them well, and you're trying to find that good balance between staying focused and really getting the job done and also staying loose and not trying to play too uptight, because I mean that's where you run into problems. When you play too uptight, your backs are against the wall, and it's really a make or break game for Desert Hills right here to see how they respond.
Yeah, you make a good point about not being too tight and staying loose and you know, and because you can't play your normal self when you're nervous or tied up, and you know, so I totally get that. But what about the Cedar side? What are they thinking? I know we were here a year ago. It seemed like the same thing happened a year ago.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, Cedar, like a lot of these kids have been here before. They've been in that same spot, like you said, a year ago. And I mean, they've been playing with their back against the walls, really being the underdog coming into the series. And now they get a game, and that just gives them confidence against the Thunder to where they've seen it. They just did it a little over 30 minutes ago. They beat the Thunder on their home field, and now they're trying to repeat what they just did.
Well, they definitely, you know, they came in after making that comeback last night in that 7th inning, and they brought the momentum. Of course, it started off a little rocky. Desert Hills jumped up 5-1 in that first game earlier today, but the bats for them just kept going. And, you know, one of the things I've noticed from Cedar, those kids, they're grinders. You know, they're used to just giving it everything they got all the time. And, you know, a couple of errors on the Desert Hills side helped them out, and next thing you knew, they were up 4 or 5 runs and able to take it all the way home.
Yeah, and they look like a team that's having fun. I mean, you see them right now. They're, as the coaches are meeting at home plate, you see them rowing around. They got dancing. Oh, we just broke out the worm. They got the whole team going out there. They're staying loose, and they really have nothing to lose. And so, I mean, I know it's a big game for the seniors. It is an elimination game, but they've been here before. They just overcame that situation, and I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this game goes.
Well, they're certainly having a lot of fun over there, that's for sure, and that's the main thing. It's you want to, you know, they're just as loose, it looks like, as Desert Hills is. They're out there throwing the football around, and, you know, you think they're ready for football season to start.
I know, it's almost has a feel as a nice preseason game, like right when this baseball season's starting, and I mean, that's really what you want. You don't want it to be, this could be our last game here on Thunder Field. Like, you want to have those loose vibes and just have everyone just ready to go as long as they stay focused. And I think a big key for Cedar this game will be to get the bats going early, because like you said, Desert Hills has gone up to a couple big leads in the first 2 games, where I think Cedar, now that they have that momentum from a little over half hour ago, that hopefully they'll be able to keep it through and just start off hot.
Yeah, I think that's a big key. You're absolutely right. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like Cedar's going to be the home team, at least from what I can tell. It looks like Desert Hills has the batting helmets on, and right now we got the umpires meeting with the coaches, exchanging lineups, and we're real close to first pitch here in Game 3. So this pregame show is brought to you by Boulevard Home. Boulevard Home, brought to you, making your house a home for over 48 years. We also want to give a shout out to some of our other sponsors. Finley Subaru, they will be our Keys to the Game, our pregame sponsor. Udi and Associates, House of Jump, Rally Stop, AWP, who's a sponsor of our Playmaker Play of the Game, and Bin Blasters. Those are a few of our sponsors here. We are about ready for first pitch. Any last second thoughts, Jackson, before we jump into this one?
I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, it's playoff baseball here in Region 9, beautiful weather, and it's got an elimination game ahead of us. I'm excited for the call.
Well, we started this off about 80 degrees with a slight breeze. It looks like we're about up to 85, 86 with a little more of a breeze, but it's blowing inward rather than out, so that should make it more interesting as guys try to hit one out of here. So. But it should be a lot of fun. Looks like Thompson will be the starting pitcher for Cedar. He closed out the last game, pitched the last inning. So that could be an advantage for the Desert Hills Thunder. They've already seen him.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like we said, this is the 5th matchup between the two teams, the 3rd in the last 2 days, especially with the pitcher that you just faced. And I mean, you had good momentum against as well. I mean, they're a little bit too little too late there at the end, but they did have a little bit of a rally there the last inning. And so it'll be interesting to see. You get Jace Fillmore, Cole DeCastro at the top of the lineup, to the last 2 guys to face Thompson, the pitcher for Cedar. And so, I mean, they got revenge on their mind, Desert Hills does.
Well, and they might be able to, since they've seen him, you know, once, they can go ahead and kind of have a feel for where, you know, the arm location comes out, the, you know, fastball, curveball, that kind of thing, and might give them an advantage here the top half of the first inning.
8th, and he'll be on the bump for the Thunder. And batting 9th, catcher.
Well, Jackson, why don't we take a quick timeout? We'll come back with first pitch. We'll take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be right back.
Performance, we've been training athletes from Logan to St. George for over.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bryant Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
All right, welcome back to Desert Hills Thunder baseball field. We're here with game 3. Here's the first pitch to game 3, and that's low ball in the dirt. So leading off for the Desert Hills Thunder will be second baseman Jace Fillmore. There's a grounder to the second baseman who bobbles it. Fillmore races down to first, but not in time. They do get the out, so for out number 1.
Now hitting number 2, Cole DeCastro.
That brings up Cole DeCastro, the starting shortstop for the Thunder. Sorry, we're having a couple little minor difficulties. Can you hear me any better now? All right, perfect. There we go, Jackson. There's the first pitch to Cole, and he swings and misses.
Go, Cole. Find a way on.
Cole's probably wanting to get on more than ever.
Yeah, definitely.
He was the last at bat of that first game.
Definitely, and this is where you really have to flip the script as a player. Like you said, last out of the last game. But guess what? That game's over. It's behind you, and now all you can focus on is this game right here and this at bat, next pitch mentality.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is why baseball's so hard. It's the mental side. You go through the ringer. That's why I love the game.
Exactly, and there you go.
Well,
right on cue.
Yeah, just shows how mentally tough he is. He takes that fastball and drives it right up the middle for a single for a base hit.
Now hitting, playing third base, number 5, Tyler Terry.
Short memory right there, right, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely. Great job by DeCastro right there. Gets the pitch he likes to hit. Hits it right back up the middle for a single. Center fielder a little bit of a bobble, but enough to keep DeCastro there at first as Terry steps up to the plate.
Well, Terry, in the earlier game, he went He went 0 for 4, but he made contact every time. He was just hitting the ball everywhere. It's just right at somebody.
Yeah,
so.
and that's another reason why we hate baseball. We love it and we hate it because you can have a 3 for 3, 4 for 4 day and not make one piece of solid contact, or you could have a day like Terry did in the first game and have 4 hard hit balls just right at the position players.
From a coaching standpoint, that's where you just say, just keep swinging it, dude. It'll fall. There's a pitch down in the dirt, so that makes the count 2-0 now to Terry with 1 down here in the top half of the first.
Yeah, big spot for Johnson here, the pitcher for Cedar is, I mean, like we've said, Desert Hills has gotten out to hot starts each of the last 2 games. It'll be interesting to see with the guy on, 1 out, top of the order coming up. They've already seen you. 3 straight balls to Kyler Terry. It'll be interesting to see how he adjusts and adapts to this situation right here. Do you want to keep Desert Hills obviously scoreless, but if there is going to be any damage, keep it at a minimum, as you know that your bats are hot right now.
Yeah, Thompson's really kept the ball down in the dirt, trying to keep it away out of the higher zone because Terry could really drive the ball.
There you go, good pitch right there to get back. Full take, you could tell there by Terry.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't looking for that same pitch right here. Throw over to first to keep DeCastro close.
Yeah, good move over there. So we got 3-1 count. It is a runner's count right here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do put DeCastro in motion. Oh, just like that, Terry rips one right up the middle, and DeCastro goes down to second base. So we got runners on first and second now with 1 out.
Right fielder, number 24, Hagen Reed.
And that's why getting ahead in the count is so important, especially when you have a hitter like Terry coming up to where he hunts fastballs. You know he wants to hit the fastball, and when you get down 3-0 right off the bat, it's hard to really come up with anything but a fastball there for him. And so he gets a pitch he likes, hits it right up the middle, just to the left of the shortstop, couldn't quite get there.
Well, and again, it's just a great piece of hitting by by Terry, because he knows the count, he knows the pitching situation, so he sits on it. Well, that brings up Reed, who earlier in the day he went 1 for 3, but had a walk, so he's on base half the time.
Yeah,
not too bad.
There you go. That's all you can ask for as a coach.
If you're on base 50% or more, you're going to play a lot.
Yeah. And Hagen he's had a breakout year this year for the Thunder as a sophomore in the 4-hole for the Thunder. Right now he's been there really the most part of the second half of the season, as he's been one of the Thunder's best hitters overall on the year.
It's interesting you make that point. Being a sophomore in the 4 spot, that's a lot of confidence in the coach that it's got in him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Caught the inside corner there. Sorry.
He's earned that confidence from Coach Cave. I mean, all the kid does is hits. Like he said, he was on base 50% of the time last game. He's had a ton of multi-hit games this year, and he just can't seem to not find a barrel at least once or twice a game.
There's a pitch just outside. So that'll make the count 3-1 now to Reed.
And you see Johnson, he is struggling with the zone a little bit. A lot of the pitches have been lower in the zone. That might play into the fatigue factor of closing the last game and then kind of having that awkward 30, 40-minute break in between games, coming out and trying to start this second game.
There's a rip down the line, just foul over third base. Boy, Reed was sitting on that fastball. He was ready for it.
Yeah, and that was about 2 feet away from making this 1-0, possibly 2-0 game with Terry's speed on first. That ball would have got down there into the left corner, but it was about 2 feet away, so now we have a full count here.
Here's the pitch, just fouled off. So Reed battling up there, fouled off a couple pitches now. Like you mentioned earlier, Jackson, most of Thompson's pitches have been a little bit lower, having a hard time finding the zone. We did see that in that last inning, too, in that first game, where he struggled to find the zone a little bit. There's ball 4 in the dirt. So just like that, we've got bases loaded for the Thunder. Top of the first. That'll bring up Bull Wall, who had a great first game. He went 3 for 3 with a walk. He doesn't know what it's like to get out up there at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, hey, keep the momentum going. This is a perfect spot for him. We got 1 out, bases loaded. And there was another pitch from Johnson, like we said, that missed low in the dirt. It was a breaking ball, but still, you have to think that this fatigue's going to play a factor. It'll be interesting how long Cedar will keep him out there if they keep seeing the same pattern.
Here's the first pitch. Just missed hitting wall, so that was inside.
And here's another sophomore in the Thunder order that's really established himself in the middle of the order. A lot of sophomores, a lot of young talent on the Thunder team, but I mean, it's fun to see these young kids who've been playing all year. Now they're experienced varsity players.
There's a pitch that's fouled off third base side. Great play by Coach K, barehanded.
Oh yeah, makes a great play over there. High hopper, takes a couple drop steps and a little spin move back to the pitcher. We play on.
Well, and Wall is in line, I believe, to be the starting quarterback, for the Thunder come next fall.
Yeah, multi-sport athlete. You don't see a lot these days, especially at the level Wall does as he hits a ball in the center field. Center fielder camps under it. Runner from third's tagging, and Castro will score as the Thunder take a 1-0 lead on a sac fly by Bo Wall.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting. He got under that curveball just a little bit, but he did bring in a run to give the Thunder a 1-0 lead, as you mentioned. So I'm sure they had a little chat in between games saying, you know what, we want to get up and get on these guys. But that's been the trend the last 2 games is the Thunder have jumped out early to big leads and just haven't been able to keep it. So hopefully this third game, if you're a Thunder fan, they can hang on to that.
Yeah, that's one thing you can say with almost certainty, that this game won't be won 1-0. I mean, it's always a possibility, but just the way we've seen this series play out and the hitting that we've seen, it seems like it's not going to be a 1-0 game. As we have Seth Wells come to the plate.
Rarely is it a 1-0 game.
Rarely.
Especially with the teams down here. Here's the pitch. Grounder to the shortstop in the hole. Backhands it, comes across strong and gets the out. Fine play by the shortstop for Cedar, and that'll be the third out of the inning.
And that.
Go ahead, Jackson.
I was going to say, and that's where we talk about the damage control at the beginning of the inning. The Thunder have been getting out to big leads, a couple walks, a base hit, but great damage control there by Johnson to only let 1 in the first inning, where you could tell he clearly didn't have his best stuff there.
Well, we'll go to the bottom half of the first, and that'll bring up the Cedar Reds. We'll take a quick break and come right back.
Look for the Region 10 recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu
best
tab.
camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
All right, welcome back to Thunder Field. We're in the bottom of the first inning with the Cedar Reds coming to bat. Looks like a small adjustment
Leading off for the Reds. Catcher,
to the lineup.
Callister.
Leading off, instead of Giles, will be Tyler Callister. Catcher for the Reds. Callister had a really nice game earlier. Had a double and a walk and a single, so he went 2 for 3. Here's the first pitch to Callister down the middle, first strike.
And the Thunder turned to Tate, their senior, on the mound. Had a great outing his last time out last Friday night against Dixie as the Thunder beat the Flyers on the last game of the regular season.
That was senior night, if I remember.
Senior night, yep. Went 6 2/3, I believe, or 5 2/3, I believe.
There was a little discussion, I'm not going to lie, in between games about why they didn't pitch him in the second game. But
yeah, and it's one of those decisions as a coach where if it works out, it's great. If not, then you're the idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. And I mean, it's not a bad spot to have Tate in this do or die game, but that is a good point that you bring up, is that I mean, it's just different by coach and their philosophies. Ideally, you'd love to save the pitching if you can win that first game, but it's always a risk when not running out your best guy out there.
Boy, it looked like, that looked like a knuckleball almost that he throws. He's got 3 pitches, is that right?
4 pitches if he has the knuckleball. I know he has a fastball, curveball. The curveball he went a lot to last week against the Flyers, and then a good changeup as well that he mixes in there.
There's the pitch, lifted into left field. It's a long run for Musgrave, who does make the catch for out number 1.
Good play there by Musgrave. As you can see, the wind playing a factor there a little bit. Ball kind of got caught up there a little bit. Musgrave had to make a little bit farther of a run and gets under there, makes the grab, makes it look pretty easily, I might add.
Yeah, did a nice job being able to make that play, calling off De Castro like you mentioned. That'll bring up number 3, Giles, who will step into the batter's box. Giles did struggle in that first game earlier today, had 3 strikeouts and a ground out, so you'd really like to just put the ball in play here.
Yeah, these doubleheaders are always interesting to see how the players will bounce back. Whether you had a 4-for-4 game the first game or you had an 0-for-4 game, it's a new game. I mean, obviously, the games do transfer over, but it's a time to where you really need to hit that mental reset and come out and do whatever you can to get the win in this game 3 of the series.
Well, and there's the second pitch, an off-speed pitch by Desert Hills, and it was low, but he looks like Giles went around, so that's a quick 0-2 count. There's a ball that's grounded foul through the wickets of the Cedar coach. They would say a 5-hole in hockey, but
yeah.
So the count as Giles steps in is 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've got 1 out here as it's 1-0 for Desert Hills, bottom of the first. And there's a little lifter up over second base. Going to find the right center gap, and that's down for a base hit. So just as you mentioned, Giles hits the reset button after going 0-for-4 and starts the second game off with a base hit.
Yeah, good piece of hitting right there too. Fastball on the outside part of the plate just goes with it, hits that right center gap. And here we are, 1 on, 1 out with the 3rd hitter of the Cedar Reds lineup coming up, Bunnell, the shortstop, who made a great play at the top half of the inning to really reduce the damage there. And a good backhand play, fired across and got Wells out.
Yeah, you don't normally see a lot of good, solid plays like that are in the deep hole at short, being able to backhand and make that throw. And there's ball 1 outside, just a bit outside.
Yeah.
First pitch.
Just a bit outside.
Give you a little Bob Uecker reference. Those of you who are Major League fans will know what we're talking about there. Here's the second pitch. Runner goes. Throw down to second and not in time. So that will be Giles now on second base in scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, great stolen base there. Really just got a great jump on there. Thompson never really had a chance to get him there. It was a good pitch that you want as a catcher to throw down on, one of those fastballs up in the zone, but I mean, he was already there about 2 steps ahead of Thompson there on the throw.
Yeah, the jump was just great. I don't think there's any way he could have got him. Here's a ball outside and in the dirt for ball 3. So Bunnell way ahead in the count now at 3 balls and no strikes, with Giles, the runner, at second. The pitch in for a strike on the outer half.
And the 3-0 take there, it's always an interesting topic as a coach, or I mean as a fan, as a player really. Do you give the 3-0 green light, especially this early on in the game? You've seen all the runs that have been scoring over the last couple games. You have a 3-0 count, first inning, guy in scoring position.
Here's the pitch. It's foul down the first base line. It's going to get out. Wall makes an effort over there, but I had a better angle on that one.
Yeah.
That makes the count full now as Bunnell steps into the batter's box here. Here's the pitch, fouled off. Bunnell doing a nice job staying alive in there.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Bunnell, just battling away. Good job by Tate to get back from 3-0 to work it to a 3-2 count. So he's taking a sign from the third base coach here. can't imagine anything would be on here, but with the speed that we've seen from Giles there on that stolen base, you never know as he takes off.
Swing and a miss. Here's the throw down to third, not in time. So the Thunder do get a strikeout for the second out. But Giles has great speed. He was on third.
Yeah, and another great read. And that's one where it was on the breaking pitch. That's one where there's a Thunder in between innings. You might want to reevaluate and see, because that's one where it was a full count. It's not necessarily a for sure breaking pitch count right there. And he gets the curveball. You could tell he knew it was a curveball. And that's one where it's on the runner, where the coach gives him the trust, and he just goes right there, steals the base easily.
Well, and you see with his speed, Giles, you can see why the coach trusts that too. Here's the first pitch to Lunt, who's the cleanup hitter. He takes a ball outside.
Yeah. And it's one thing to be a fast runner. I mean, anyone can be a fast runner, but it's also another thing to be a good base runner. And that's just a good base running play right there to go on the curveball.
Here's the pitch, caught the inside corner for a strike, so it counts even at 1-1. So the Reds are trying to answer the Thunder here, as the Thunder scored one in the top half of the first. They got a runner on third. 2 outs with Lunt at the plate. Here's the pitch, curveball, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
Good pitch by Tate there, getting it on the hands of the left-handed batter, Lunt.
Here's the windup and the motion, and swing and a miss. And another curveball.
Yeah, another great pitch, almost identical to the one he just threw. Gets in on the hands of the left-handed batter again, and the Thunder out of the inning, 1-0.
So the Thunder get away without giving up a run, and they go to the top half of the second with the score of 1-0 for the Desert Hills Thunder. We'll be right back after this break.
Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
I always believe if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
$2.99 to find the location nearest you.
Leading off for the Thunder, left fielder number 23, Landon Musgrave.
All right, welcome back everybody to Desert Hills Thunder baseball field. We go to the top of the second inning, a score of 1-0 for the Desert Hills Thunder. Stepping in is Landon Musgrave, who was the winning pitcher of note last night. Fouls off the first pitch for strike 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Thunder do get past this game, or if the Reds, vice versa, to see how they stack up their pitching for the beginning of next week as the state tournament begins.
There's a lift into center field that's being camped in under there, and for the first out. Musgrave went 3 for 4 earlier, so that's a big out.
Yeah, and Musgrave's been red hot. Great job there by Johnson to get him out on that fastball up in the zone. Here comes the pitcher, Titan Tate, up to bat with his bright pink batting gloves on. Can't miss him.
Yeah, those are hard to miss, aren't they?
Yeah. It's always fun seeing players play with their own little flair on whether it's on their batting gloves or with their arm sleeves or the glasses on the hat. I mean, I know a lot of people, there's a lot of mixed opinions on that, but I, for one, am a big fan.
Well, see it in the majors. They're wearing those bright yellow and different hyper iridescent colors.
Yeah, and they've really been the pioneers for that. I remember Yoenis Cespedes back in the day. Yeah. He was really the pioneer for that bright green arm sleeve, and now you've seen other players adopt it, like Ronald Acuna, Jazz Chisholm. some of the faces of the league as Tate takes a walk.
Catcher number 20, Corbin.
4 straight balls right there. Brings up Thompson, the starting catcher. Yeah, you mentioned who did you, Cespedes?
Cespedes, yeah, being one of the pioneer from what I can remember of those bright neon colors, and now you've seen a lot of the other players in the league like Ronald Acuna, Jazz Chisholm, some of these other faces of the league who, I mean, Acuna is going to win MVP, and Jazz Chisholm was just the cover of the show, so it's fun to see the players going in that direction.
Yeah, I remember seeing Cespedes out there with with that Dodger uniform.
Oh, yeah.
It just did not match. I was like, oh my gosh, But you're right, Acuna, all these guys, they don't care.
No. And we got Tate a 4-pitch walk on there, so maybe the pitcher's a little distracted by the gloves. You never know.
We'll blame it on the gloves.
Yeah.
Here's a pitch in the dirt for ball 1, so that's 5 straight balls now. Here's the pitch high for ball 2. So again, a little control issues by Thompson right now.
Yeah, and really just a hard spot as a pitcher, like we said, closing out the last game, coming in, starting this one with that 30-minute break in between. But to his credit, he's battling. I mean, got out of the last inning with only 1 run, got a couple guys on, got out of the inning, and with that 7th straight ball, we'll see how much longer the Cedar coaches stick him out there for.
Yeah, usually when you see, if he goes 8 in a row, I think you might see a visit. Here's the throw over to first as Titan gets back easily.
And this is the situation as a coach where I'm for sure giving the take here. 3-0, 7th straight balls. Only a guy on first as the first strike gets put in there.
Took a little off of it, puts it down there for a strike 1. Still a good hitter's count, though, at 3-1. Here's the windup. And the delivery is right down the middle. Runner goes, throw down to second, and he's in safe. So Titan gets in there with now there'll be a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, and it looks like a little bit of, we might have a batter's interference there on the steal as Thompson came across the plate. Umpires are talking about it. And they call the runner at second out.
Because of the interference at the plate. Or is he sending him back to first?
So he's sending him back to first, and the batter's out for the interference. Because what happened is that the pitch was a little bit outside. Thompson swung, but with this swing, he came across the plate as the runner was trying to advance and get the base, and the catcher actually ran into him. And you have, as a batter, you have the right to your own batter's box, but when you come outside of it, that's when it becomes interferences. You see them kind of ran into each other a little bit on the throw. So they send Clough, the runner, back to first, and now Thompson, the batter, is out for the interference call.
Yeah, that's a great explanation to those that are listening at home and online. Here's a rip into left field. That was Fillmore for a base hit, so that'll advance the runners now to first and second.
And there's almost a little bit of a sigh of relief there for Fillmore, as like you said. He hasn't had the best day today. And he's a player who's one of the best in the region, especially just as a young sophomore. He's had a phenomenal season, and that hit's got to feel good to get in there.
Well, and DeCastro, he steps in. He singled his last time at bat. I want to go back to that out by Thompson, and really he's doing a hit and run. He's trying to do his job.
Exactly.
He didn't really do anything wrong. He just got into the throwing motion, as you mentioned, and so it's one of those deals where it's not called that often, to be honest, that I've seen it, but
and that's one that's just hard as a hitter, because all you're trying to do is your job. You're not focused on trying to stay in the batter's box or not, or you're just all you're focused on is hitting the ball, especially with a hit and run. It's where you were swinging no matter what until
there's a hit down to the right field line out there, and Riggs comes up with the catch, so a sliding grab. He had a nice one in the first game for the third out here in the top half of the second. So we'll take a quick timeout. We go to the bottom half of the second. The Thunder up 1-0.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
All right, welcome back here to Thunder Field. We're at the bottom half of the second inning. Desert Hills has a 1-0 lead here in Game 3 of the Super Regional. The winner of this game will go to the state playoffs next week up at Brigham Young University. Games will be played at BYU as well as UVU next week. Championship games brackets will be played at UVU.
Yeah, pretty cool opportunity for whichever team advances to go play on up at Miller Park at BYU Field. I mean, it's a beautiful field up there, and like we were talking about earlier on the broadcast, it's the first time that Region 10 has been able to play on BYU's new field in the high school state tournament.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Well, and just it's a big shout out to just the Region 10 teams. I mean, the top 3 seeds got a bye automatically into the state tournament. We'll give that to not Crimson, but Snow Canyon, Crimson, and Dixie all getting the byes to get in. But then you see Bear River has advanced, beat Pineview earlier today, and then the winner of this game will advance. Here's the first pitch, swung on a miss, and then the second pitch, a ball outside, so we're even at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and it's always fun to see how those teams up in Cache Valley stack up against the teams down here in St. George, especially now over the last couple years where it's only been the 2 regions in 4A. It's always fun to see how the 2 teams stack up against each other and come the state tournament.
Here's a pitch fouled off by Burgess, and it's out of play. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's next year will be different, because you'll get those Salt Lake schools that will mix in and won't just be the north versus the south.
Exactly, exactly. A little more parity will be good for the 4A region.
Yeah. There's a pitch by Titan. It's out, ground to the second. Oh, and the first baseman just pulled a little bit wall. His foot came off the bag just as Burgess went across the bag, so that'll be an infield single. Just great hustle that time, getting down the line.
Yeah, and good play there by Fillmore. Really didn't do anything wrong. It was a ball that just barely got past the pitcher, hit pretty softly, makes a good backhand play. But as you said, great hustle there by the runner to get down there and gets safe, gets on with an infield hit.
Well, and Fillmore had a couple of costly errors in that first game earlier today, and he really probably would like a defensive play to go smoothly to get that confidence back.
I mean, sometimes it's just one of those days. Sometimes you have the plays where they're just candy hops, you're making every play, and sometimes it's just a lot harder out there on the second base. It's crazy how, I mean, especially with baseball, how each day, each play, each pitch can just have such a different outcome.
Well, and as you mentioned, it wasn't hit real hard, so there's a lot of spin on that ball, and slowly going out there. It would have been a bang-bang play, and just a little bit off on the throw, and therefore Burgess is safe. So here we go. Cedar's got a guy on first, and that steps in Mackert, who had a big first game. Here's an off-speed pitch for strike 1.
And that's something that Tate did a lot last week against Dixie. He's really done all season is get ahead of batters with that off-speed pitch. What you'll find, especially in this high school level, is that a lot of kids aren't really looking off-speed first pitch, to where if you can get that dialed in, as Tate has over the last few weeks and really the second half of the season, it's a great way to get ahead of hitters.
There's a throw over to first just to check on Burgess there. He's back safely. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Most high school kids can't, don't look that way. You're right. Here's a pitch, fastball. The runner goes down to second, not in time. So Burgess is in scoring position now with no outs.
And Cedar being really aggressive on the bases early on in this game. Like we said, it's a 1-0 game as they trail, but that's the 3rd stolen base already for Cedar so far. And that was one where, I mean, the other 2 stolen bases earlier, you don't really put on Thompson. That's one that they really didn't have chances on just because of the jump and the plays that Giles made.
Yeah.
But on that one where he did have a chance, the throw is just a little short to the second base, and he slides in there safely. Now we've got a runner in scoring position with no outs.
Well, to give Thompson, a little credit, he really had no shot getting Giles nor Burgess because of the jumps they got. So makes it a little tougher on the catcher. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss off speed.
And that's something that you'll see a lot with a pitcher like Titan Tate, who it's throw a lot of off-speed pitches. As you can pick up on those patterns early on in the count, once he gets ahead, he's going to that off-speed pitch. That's something as a coaching staff that you'll see really attack on the base path.
There's another off-speed pitch. Great piece of hitting by Mackert. Just gets it out into right field. Here comes the play into home. The runners stop at first and third. So great piece of hitting by Mackert, who found the hole as Fillmore was covering the base, trying to hold the runner close, and just had enough room there to get that through.
Yeah, and another good base hit. Really wasn't hit too extremely hard, but just gets to the other side of Jace Fillmore there at second, just perfectly placed. And now we got runners at the corners for the Reds.
Well, and that brings up the younger brother. We call him the younger brother. I don't know how young, if he's younger or older, to be honest with you, but I say younger because he's in the lower part. You know, he bats before the older brother.
Yeah.
But he had a great first game, hit the ball, started off with a double, and then he got a single. But a nice pitch there. It was a breaking ball outside, and he swung and missed, didn't pick it up for strike one. Great stop by Thompson.
And again, right there, first pitch curveball there from Tate.
Yeah, it's kind of been what he's started off the last 3-4 batters.
Mm-hmm. And not a coincidence that the first 3-4 batters have all started off 0-1. Great job there by Tate as he picks off to first.
You'd think the dugout in Cedar, they would be saying, hey, you might want to jump on that first one because he wants to get ahead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with the second time through the order coming up if he still sticks with that approach.
There goes. Here's the fake throw down to second, so no play there. So that'll bring up runners on second and third now. So 2 RBIs sitting out there for Mackert.
Yeah, and like we were saying, it'll be interesting to see second time through the lineup if he sticks with that curveball first approach, off-speed pitch first, or if does Thunder try to switch it up? Right now, he's only focused on Macker as he has guys on second and third with no outs.
There's another off-speed pitch just outside, so that's ball 2, excuse me. Sorry, I thought it was 1 and 2, but said it's 2 balls, 1 strike. And Tate winds and deals. Here's a ground ball to the right side, just outside the glove of Fillmore. Right fielder from Charges throws into home. The runner stops at third, so just like that, the Cedar Reds tie up the score at 1-0. They advance the runner over to third and got runners on first and third.
Yeah, just another bleeder there. Like, not super hard hit, but just almost identical to the hit we just saw right before, and then gets another single. Runner on third almost ran through the stop sign. The coach was sending him, thinking about it, threw up the stop sign, and the runner realized it late, but gets back to third. Now we got first and third, an identical situation to where we were just in.
Boy, and you mentioned that wasn't like a line drive single. It was just a CNI ground ball that just happened to slip under the glove of Fillmore as he was diving to make that stop.
Man, that's got to be so frustrating as a pitcher. You're not getting hard contact hit off you, just 3 really seeing eye singles right up the middle, and now the Reds have tied the game and with a threat to score more.
Here's the pitch just low, so that's 2 balls now to Riggs, the right fielder, who's had a great day defensively out in right field. Made a nice play last inning to end the inning.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Cedar plays this situation. As we've seen, they've been aggressive on the base paths before. Doesn't go on that pitch.
It's a fastball for a strike. Even it up at 2-2 now. Yeah, we did see that Mackert's not blazing speed at first, so that might be why they're not sending him.
Yeah. And it's also interesting to see if he does go, how will Desert Hills defend it. You see they elect to go to the fake throw last time, but with a guy like Macker who doesn't have that speed as he takes off.
Instead they went hit and run. So as Riggs fouls that one back.
And a good call there, like you said. Doesn't have the blazing speed. He's probably not going to go steal that base just on his own. Good job of protecting him with no outs. Freed up a hole, Cedar's been hitting all the holes this inning in the infield.
Well, there's so many good things that you can do by getting the runner going, too. He goes again on this pitch, and that's ball 3, but there's no throw down. As that was way outside, really wouldn't have had a chance. So Cedar bench is loving that. Macker gets a stolen base.
Yeah, and like you said, just no chance for Thompson on that throw. Curveball in the left-handed batter's box. Really just no shot at that one.
So Tate in the stretch, delivers, and it's low. So that will load up the bases now. That's 3 singles and a walk now here in the bottom half of the second. And the pitching coach for Desert Hills is going to make a walk out to the mound.
Yeah, bases loaded, no outs. Great spot for Cedar to be in right here, scoring threat. And this is something that we really haven't seen in the first 2 games of Cedar with the chance to take the lead here early on in the game.
No, usually they go through the lineup a couple times before they've been able to get things going, but good start to this second inning, that's for sure, with only no outs. Bases are loaded and already scored one.
Yeah, and this is where, as a pitching coach, you're going out to your pitcher, you're telling them, hey, we're only 1 pitch away from getting a double play. It'll be interesting to see how they do the infield alignment here. It looks like the middle infielders are electing to play back, just play the normal double play depth. You got the corners in, so ground ball to the corners, first or third base here. They're going to go home, try to get the double play. Same with the pitcher. Everyone will be going home, but it looks like the middle infielders are playing in just normal double play depth, electing to give up a couple outs to get a run for a run right here, which is a smart move. I mean, the bats have been good. Yeah, the bats have been good for Desert Hills. You know, it's not like it's going to be a high-scoring game from what we've seen on the other 2 games.
Well, here's the pitch, and it's outside for ball 1. We did see this same scenario in the 5th inning of game 1, where the Desert Hills played the middle infield back, and it was a C&I ground ball between third and short that if they'd have played them in, though, they would have been able to make the play, and it come back to bite them. Here's a pitch and a drive into center field. That's going back, but the center fielder for Desert Hills camps under for the out, and that will score 1 run for the Reds. So RBI fly out for Boyer.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. I mean, that's really your number 1 job there as a hitter is obviously you want to put it in play, because anything that's not to the corners is going to score a run, but especially anything in the outfield is almost guaranteeing a run. Like with the bases loaded, you get the sac fly, and that one was deep enough to where it didn't even contest a throw there from Wells in center. But the good job by Wells by cutting it off, getting a good throw into third, and holding the runners at first and second.
That'll bring up Callister, the catcher, leadoff batter. He takes a pitch for a strike. So Cedar now with a 2-1 lead here in the bottom half of the second inning. Callister had a really nice first game. He was the number 2 batter in the lineup in the first game. They moved him to the top of the lineup as he gets hit by that curveball. So that'll advance the runners, and we'll have bases loaded again.
Yeah, and that curveball just barely gets away from him. He's been going to that curveball that breaks inside on the left-handed batters. He got a couple strikeouts with it earlier on in the game, but that one just runs a little bit too far inside, and I don't think he could have got out of the way of that one if he tried.
No, that one seemed to have a magnet that was trying to go after him. So
yeah, that's one of those where you have the right-handed pitcher and the left-handed batter, and that one it's with a curveball. It's just chasing you out of the back. So you try to get out of the way, that thing's just chasing you right to the center of your back, but.
He's going down there. I didn't even have a chance to get out of the way. Giles steps into the batter's box, lifts one into center field. It's not real deep. Wells is under it. Comes up with a catch. There is no play at home. They cut it off, so it holds the runners for the second out.
Good job there by Wells, just getting the ball in. Wall cuts it off, and I mean, really, there would have been no play there at home. He would have been out by probably a good 5 or 6 steps there, I think, if he would have went. That ball just too shallow to tag up on from third.
Well, and Giles just got, I think, a little too aggressive after getting that hit, his first at-bat. He's feeling pretty good about himself, and when I think that would have been a ball, that was up.
Yeah, that one was up in the zone, and that's why he really just got under it.
There's a pitch to Bunnell, who fouls it off. That was a changeup, it looked like.
And this is a big spot here to where, I mean, a base hit right here. Another one of those seeing eye singles. Scores 2 runs with 2 outs. The runner on second is going to be flying around, and out keeps it a 1-run ball game.
So it's 0-1. Here is the delivery by Tate. It's fisted to the right side. Fillmore does come up with it. Goes over to first. And Desert Hills gets out of the inning without any further damage. So we'll go to the top of the third inning. Cedar scores 2 and takes a 2-1 lead. We'll be back right after this break.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bride Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
I'm Aaron Crane, host of the Region 10 Recap. Want to relive the highlights of the game? Look for the Region 10 Recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
The game.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're back here at Desert Hills Field. We're in the top of the third inning as Desert Hills is the visiting team for this game 3. Tyler Terry will lead off the top of the third.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we've already seen Fillmore and DeCastro come up their third time through Johnson, but it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the Thunder lineup does, seeing Johnson for the third time today over the span of the 2 games.
Here's the pitch inside for ball 1.
In the state playoff, this is where you really see your pitching depth. I mean, like throughout the year, you only have 2-game series within a region, and now, I mean, really, you got to bring anyone who can pitch out to pitch.
Hard hit to third. It bounces off the third baseman. Now a throw down to first, but Terry will be in there safely for a single. That was a hard shot. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a hard hit ball, especially down there at the hot corner by Kyler Terry. I mean, guy who has a lot of power.
Number 24, Hagen Reed.
How we doing?
Little higher.
Okay.
Hello. Little tiny bit lower. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Back on track. Having a little bit of technical difficulties, but
sorry about that, guys.
As I was saying, yeah, hard hit ball there by Terry. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know what. I'd probably give him the hit there.
Yeah, I gave him a hit, so that'll step in Reed now into the batter's box. Reed is first at bat. He walked, so the Thunder got the leading guy on base, which you always try to do, make the defense work a little bit harder.
Yeah, especially with the harder order coming up. Great job by Terry to get on there. Just put a hard ball in play like he's been doing all day, and that one finally squeaks through.
There's a fastball and swing and a miss by Reed, so that evens the count at 1. Wouldn't be surprised to see if they get Terry on the move. Here's a pitch and a drive into right center field by Reed. That will push the runner from going from second to third. Terry takes a wide turn, but comes back to first. So the Thunder now have runners at first and third, with nobody down.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Reed. Just a nice line drive. No chance for the second baseman to get, and gets a single, moves the runners. Now we got a first and third with no out situation for the Thunder, like we saw with Cedar down in the bottom of the second inning a few times.
And that'll bring up Bo Wall, who is he's had a really nice day today. He did fly out to center his first at bat in this game 3.
And I wonder if the Thunder will elect to be as aggressive as Cedar was on the bases so far this game. And in the same situation, first and third, you do have a power hitter in Wall coming up to the plate.
There's a throw over to check the runner Reed to make sure he's not too far off. He gets back safe, and here's the pitch. There's a drive into the left field, so that'll score a run for the Thunder. Reed comes around second, dives into third, And so they just exchanged places on the base pass, first and third for the Thunder, and
center fielder number
no
7,
outs.
Seth.
Yeah, and there's one, I don't know if it was quite a hit and run as Reed stole on that pitch, but a good piece of hitting by Bo Wall. If it was a hit and run, it was executed perfectly. Just hit right where the shortstop would have been. And Reed with a heads-up play, getting it all the way, seeing the ball in front of him, gets all the way to third, and now we got another first and third situation, no outs as the Thunder tie the game.
And that'll bring up the center fielder Wells, who grounded out to short his first at bat. He digs in.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing happen right here.
There goes Wall, and there's a bunt by Wells, but it goes foul. But you were right on cue there. They did have the runners moving.
Yeah, a little bunt and run action there by the Thunder. The runner on third stayed put, almost like a safety squeeze situation where you're sending the runner on first.
You're almost doing that just to see how the defense reacts too. You want to just get a feel for what they're going to do.
Yeah, and that's one that it is a risky play because say Wells does bunt up in the air. That's almost a surefire double play there for the infield. But
yeah, here's the pitch off speed, and here's the fake throw to second. So Wall will get down there with the stolen base, and that'll put runners at second and third.
Yeah, that one looked like it was a fake throw, like by the way his body motion was. But I think the ball slipped out there and actually made it down its way to second base.
Oh.
Bounced right in front of the pitcher's mound and made it its way all the way down to second base. But
I got the blocking my view. I didn't see the ball trickle out of his hand there.
Yeah. I know, I didn't even see it initially either, but I saw the second baseman coming up with the ball, giving it back to the pitcher, and they had a little meeting there to see what the miscommunication was on the play.
Well, that will have Cedar pull in the infield as here's a hit into the right center gap. Riggs, the right fielder, is under it, camps under it, makes the catch, throws in, and there's not a play at home, so that'll score a run.
Yeah, and good Thunder. Great job there by Wells, just get a ball into the outfield. And that goes back to the heads-up play there we saw by Reed going first to third on that ground ball by Wall. That put him in that position to score on that play. Ball just a little bit too far into the right center gap to where the fielder couldn't make a real play on it, and Reed gets in there without a slide.
Well, that'll give the Desert Hills Thunder a 3-2 lead now as we're in the top of the third inning. That'll bring up Landon Musgrave, who's had a solid day today. He had a really great first game, and he flew out to center his first at bat. Here's the pitch, a drive to right field. It's going, and Riggs is at the wall, makes the catch at the wall, and that will advance the runner to third. So Musgrave, not much wind there. He just missed it going out.
Looked like he just barely got a little bit under it on that pitch. Great job, does a job, moves the runner over to third now with 2 outs, but yeah, just an inch or two below that, and that one might be leaving us there.
Yeah, that wasn't far, that wasn't close. But it'll go back to the dugout. They'll razz them a little bit about having warning track power over there, so. Here's Titan in at the plate, and he swings at the first one.
And the first good pitch he's seen today, as he had a 4-pitch walk in the beginning of the game. Second inning, last inning.
There's a pitch just outside, so that'll even the count at 1-1.
And trying to give himself a little bit of insurance here before he heads out for the bottom of the third. 2 outs here, guy on third.
Here's the pitch, strike 2. Well, we were that close, Jackson, to our Jason bomb of the game, but Musgrave just got under it a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see us get one this game, though.
There's the pitch off speed outside, so that'll even the count at 2.
You see the flag out there twirling around a little bit. Right at the beginning of the game, it was blowing straight in. Now it looks like it's almost a little bit right to left action out there. So we see the big American flag next to the scoreboard.
Here's the pitch, bounces off the catcher. That's going to be a play at the plate, and Wall will come in to score. So just like that, the Thunder will get another run off a wild pitch, making it 4-2.
Yeah, and that one's one of the hardest ones to block as a catcher, where it hits off the plate and gets high up on you. It looked like it kicked off the shoulder right there. Really no chance for the catcher to make a play on that one.
Here's the pitch, and there's a drive into left field. It's sinking out. It's a one-hopper, so that'll be a base hit for Titan, who helps his own cause there with a single.
Yeah, and he was wishing that first pitch maybe would have got blocked so he could have picked up an RBI right there. But does the job regardless, and now it moves the line along for Corbin Thompson to come up.
Wants to pad the stats there a little bit, get the RBI on the docket, right?
Exactly. Now, I think at this point, stats are kind of out the window. Your stats are going to be your stats for the year, and now this is really where it's win or go home. This is where you don't care how we win, how you score, as long as it happens.
Yeah. There's a throw over to first, and he's back in safely. Thompson was called out on that swinging interference play.
Batter's interference, something you don't see too often.
You see a catcher's interference every so often, but not normally a batter's interference. So.
Yeah, that's just one of those weird plays. Like, it was a hit and run that was called. Ball outside, he swings for it because that's your job as the hitter on the hit and run, but it just comes across the plate, and yeah, just a weird situation there.
There's a pitch, ground ball to shortstop. It kind of eats him up a little, bobbles it, fires over to first, not in time. So that'll be an error on the shortstop, and that'll bring up the top of the order with 2 outs.
Yeah, and good hustle there by Thompson to get down the line. Beats it by just about half a step. As like you said, we see the top of the lineup coming up, and Fillmore, who had a hit his last time up, is looking for another one to put a couple more Thunder runs on the board.
Well, I know Fillmore would love to get another hit. Like you mentioned, that first game is one that he wanted to reset after the struggles he had at the plate earlier, but 2 out here, score 4-2 for the Thunder, top of third.
Yeah, and I think we've established in this series that no lead is safe for either side, as we've seen a lot of good comebacks for both sides, especially now down into game 3. Pitching's thin, and looks like maybe a little miscommunication there between the pitcher and the catcher.
Yeah, a little cross up there. I think he was expecting something off speed, got the fastball high and caught him off guard a little bit. Ball 1. Here's the pitch. There's a shot into the left center gap. Center fielder rushes over. It's over his head. That's going to be a stand-up double for Fillmore. Here comes the rally as they will score 2 for the Thunder. So Fillmore comes through with a stand-up double.
Yeah, and clutch hit there by Fillmore. Really just a hard line drive right over the center fielder's head. He almost gets a glove on it, but that's one of the hardest plays as a center fielder, is that line drive right at you, a little bit to your right. It looked like he almost ran in or to the side on it a little bit rather than the drop step, but that one's just one of the hardest plays. But I think even with a good read, he wouldn't have gotten there on that one from Fillmore.
Yeah, that ball was just smoked, and so like you said, it was still kind of getting airborne as it hit center field. And yeah, that was a tough play, and I think we might see a pitching change here as Cedar Red coaches come out.
Looks like we are. Great job by Johnson there. Really just battled, kept the Thunder hitters off balance there. It's really, like we've said all game, it's a tough spot to close out a game, have a nice 30-minute break in between, and then come out and try to start the next game against a lineup that just saw you and put up some runs on you at the end of the first game.
For the Cedar Reds, number 2.
Well, we'll have a new pitcher here. It looks like Mackert will be the new pitcher, Clay Mackert, and so we'll take a quick break and we'll come back right after this 30-second break.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing member.
Welcome back to Thunder Field. We are just about finished with our pitching change here, and Desert Hills Thunder have erupted 4 or 5 runs this top half of the 3rd inning. take a 6-2 lead.
Now hitting for the Thunder, number 2,
Cole DeCastro will be up to bat. He's the 9th batter of the inning, as we have 2 outs here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Cole for the day, he is at 1 for 2. He flew out to right field his last time at bat, singled in the 1st inning.
Yeah, and this is where you really need to capitalize if you're the Thunder with your, I mean, Castro, arguably one of the best player on the team right here. He's had a pretty good series overall, but here's one where he'd really like to get another hit here to pad that lead.
Takes the first pitch in there for a strike. Here's the delivery, and he gets hit by that off-speed pitch, so he'll go down to first.
Now hitting third baseman, number 5, Kyler
Keeps the inning
Terry.
alive for the Thunder, bringing up Kyler Terry, who started off this inning with a single.
Yeah, and a hard hit ball right at the third baseman, who's actually the pitcher now, so.
Yeah.
And then they got a little defensive switch. Looks like the pitcher and the third baseman, Johnson and Macker, just a little swap there. But yeah, hard hit ball to right over the third baseman's head. Oh, so it looks like Terry hits a hard line drive over the third baseman's head. Left fielder makes a good play on it. As we've got, everyone's up in arms. Cedars fans are up in arms. So what happened here is that Terry hits the line drive over third baseman's head. He gets to the outfield. The left fielder makes the play on it. They cut it off, the third baseman. Fillmore's rounding third. And now it gets to home, but as he's crossing home, they get the runner to Castro tagged up at third, tagged to Castro out. But the umpire said that the run at home counted, that Fillmore crossed home before
the out occurred.
But now Cedar's saying that that wasn't the case. They're thinking that they got DeCastro out at third before Fillmore crossed the plate at home. So that's what the umpires are discussing right now.
Well, I'm not going to put anything in the book until I get an official ruling here. It looks like the umpires are meeting to...
And from my look at it, I didn't think Fillmore got there by the time they actually made the out, but we'll see what the umpires say here. And they're counting the run, so
wow.
I guess I did not see what the umpires saw, but hey, the run scores, and now the Thunder will be up 7-2 as the third out is out at third as DeCastro gets tagged out.
Now the Cedar fans are not happy, and now the Desert Hills, we've got it going on right now.
Yeah, I got a little chatter in the crowd.
Well, with that said, that'll take us to the bottom half of the third inning. Desert Hills scores 6 runs in the top half of the third, take a 7-2 lead. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulties there for a second.
Yeah.
The next thing we knew, fireworks were going on.
Technical difficulties. We have fireworks, both sides screaming at each other. With the fans out here, a little extracurricular activities. But now officially the dust is settled, and Terry gets the RBI single. Fillmore scores, the run counts, but as that's happening, DeCastro tries to advance to third. They cut the ball off at third. The third baseman tags DeCastro for the third out. Thunder are now up 7-2 in the bottom of the third inning.
Leading off for the Reds.
And now we're starting the bottom of the third. I think that's everything. We got it all.
Great recap. I appreciate it. We got to get you a sponsor for that recap.
Hey, sponsor Bin Blasters. Let's call Bin Blasters. Got my cans super clean, smelling fresh. So that'll be the Bin Blasters recap of the game right there.
Well, there you go. That'll bring Lunt for the Reds into the batter's box. He takes the first pitch for a ball. And Titan delivers an off-speed pitch in there for a strike. So evens the count at 1. Tate delivers, and that's strike 2. So quickly gets ahead in the count 1-2 to Lunt.
Great inning there by the Thunder at the top of the third, now with the 7-2 lead coming into the bottom. But I mean, I don't think either coach is going to feel comfortable until the game is over with their lead, and I don't think any coach or any team is going to say this game's over before it's actually over, because as we've seen, the comebacks in this series have been wild.
Yeah, that's true. You're never out of it, as we've seen with this Cedar team or with the Thunder team. So there's ball 2 outside. Cedar fans were chanting, we want a replay review. You know.
Hey, we can help them out there. I mean, I don't think replay review is sanctioned by the Utah High School Athletic Association quite yet, but
there's a change up and it gets the inside corner, so
good pitch there.
Goes down for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, great pitch there by Tate. It looks like the split finger right there that he came. Looks like it's going right at the left-handed batter and just drops in there for strike 3.
And it's such a hard pitch to pick up too, so yeah. Great spot by Tate. That'll bring up Burgess for the Reds, who singled his last time at bat. First pitch is fisted up in the air, and it looks like Tate is under it, makes the play, so that'll be the second out of the inning.
Good play there by Tate to go make the play. You don't really see a lot of pitchers going for pop-ups these days. Even in the high school level, you don't really see a lot of pitchers going for pop-ups, but that one didn't get too high up in the air, a little bit off the handle, and makes the play.
Yeah, that'll bring up Mackert, the pitcher now for the Reds. Yeah, I noticed he told Terry, get out of here, I got it, don't bother me. So, 2 down here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch, and just high for ball 1. Here's the pitch by Tate, an off-speed curveball. That's in on the inner half for strike 1.
I mean, and this game is really following the blueprint of the first 2 games that we've seen in the series so far.
There's a shot down the right field line, and it's fair. So Mackert gets the ball to draw. Rounds first, kind of stumbles, so he'll stay there at first base with a single.
Yeah, and that ball just gets on the inside of that right field line. Good play by Hagen Reed to get that ball in quick. Like you said, Mackert with a little bit stumble coming around first, and he stays there for the single.
That'll bring up the other Mackert brother, who his last at bat had a seeing-eye single to advance the runners around. They're getting to get a speed-up runner for the pitcher here.
Speed up runner there for the Reds, coming in for the pitcher. That's something that I think the MLB was talking about experimenting with, not for the pitcher because now we have the universal DH, but having a designated pinch runner. That's something that they're experimenting for anybody. So you could have a designated pinch runner. They're experimenting, I think, in the minor leagues right now to see. I don't know exactly the details of it, but that's something that, I mean, you really see in the high school level primarily, a couple of the minor leagues, but it'll be interesting to see if that one makes it up like the pitch clock and some of the other adjustments MLB has made recently.
I like what they've done to the game to speed it up. Here's an off-speed pitch for a strike. Yeah, I think what they've done, and like you said, they implemented it at the minor leagues, which is a great testing ground, and everything they've moved forward this year has just been positive in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, spring training, everyone was up in arms about it. Change is going to cause a lot of different articles, different players speaking out. But really, since opening day, the first couple of weeks, you really haven't heard a whole lot about the pitch clock at all.
No, you haven't. Now, you like the fact that they can't shift anymore. It's more of a hitter's game, you know.
A lot more stolen bases, which is a lot of fun to watch. Brings back a real possibility to see a 30-30, 40-40 seasons for some of these guys like maybe Ronald Acuna, who's probably going to be the NL MVP if the season ended today.
Well, if he can stay healthy, that's the key.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got a 1-ball, 2-strike count here for Mackert. We got bottom of the 3rd inning with Thunder leading 7-2. Tate's into the windup. The delivery is just outside.
Yeah, just missing right there. Good pitch, 1-2 count. You don't want to give the batter something too good to hit. That one just seeing if they could chase a little bit right off the outside part of the plate. And that evens the count to 2-2 and 2 outs on the inning.
There's a pitch just off the plate there You can hear from behind us the Desert Hills fans thought that was a
yeah, we had a couple people who thought that was definitely a strike behind us. That was a great pitch. I think it might have just stayed up in the zone a little bit too much right there. Good sell job by the batter. But here we go, 3-2, 2 outs, runners going.
There's a ball put in play. Soft roller to the second baseman. Fillmore gathers, throws, pulls the first baseman. Wall off, so he is safe. Again, that was a slow roller, a long way to go for Fillmore. And a tough play, and good hustle down the line by Macker.
Yeah, and that one just barely, it looked like almost like a swinging bunt right there. Just barely gets past the pitcher. Tough play for Fillmore to make right there, but with a good throw, it definitely gets the batter. And Wall did come off the base there at first, but almost looked like he got back close to when the runner was crossing, but no objection from the Desert Hills dugout. Now we got first and second with 2 outs.
Well, that brings up Riggs, the right fielder, who walked his last time at bat. He digs in, and here's the delivery. Just inside for ball 1.
Yeah, and big spot right here for Cedar. Try to get some of that momentum back. There's been a little bit of yelling back and forth between the fans and with towards the umpires, seeing how the last inning ended, and a couple close calls there on that last at-bat by Tate.
Here's the pitch, and just high. So that's ball 2.
And if you see that flag out there by the scoreboard, the USA flag out there, it seems like it's blowing out now. You can kind of feel it on our back, blowing right towards left center.
Oh, and he hits him on third pitch, so that'll load the bases after getting 2 quick outs. The Reds have now loaded the bases.
Now hitting number 12, Jacob
And
Boyer.
Jacob Boyer comes to bat, and he had a really couple of big hits in that first game. He's proven he's pretty clutch, so they don't want him to be, this is not the situation the Thunder want to be in after getting that big lead.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is where you have a 5-run lead as a pitcher. Obviously, you don't want to walk this batter, but also, like, you got to go at him. You can't walk this guy. Let your defense make a play for you and see if you can get out of the inning.
There's a pitch, looped just over the shortstop's glove. That's going to score 1. Here comes the throw in. They hold the runner at third, so that'll be a single and a run scored for Boyer as the Reds get another run on the board, making the score 7-3, and the bases are still loaded with the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, good swing right there. I mean, just a line drive right up the middle, just out of the reach of DeCastro. Another ball that was hit, not super hard contact, but just gets right up the middle and almost sends the runner on third there with 2 outs, but gives him the red light. Now we have bases loaded again with 2 outs with the tying run up to plate.
Boyer just strong enough to lift that over to Castro's glove, as you mentioned. And here's the pitch just outside for ball 1.
Starting him off with that split finger that he threw to get the strikeout earlier in the inning. That one just stays on the outside and then just falls right off at the last second.
Callister digs in. Here's the pitch just outside. Ball 2. Well, with bases loaded, he can't afford to go ball 3 here. That sends everybody in motion here eventually. There's the pitch, and it's fouled off.
Yeah, and like you said, good job of Tate there to get that strike in there, because 3-0, you never want to be 3-0 with nowhere to put that batter. But also, even if you do get that 3-1 pitch, then now it's a hitter's count. It's a great job there by Tate, but good battle also by the batter.
Well, now he allows himself to set up a pitch here. You know, can go multiple options, like you mentioned. Here's Tate with the delivery and a good curveball in there for a strike. So,
yeah, a lot of movement on that curveball. Comes right across the plate, ends up almost right down the middle right there. Great pitch by Tate.
Yeah, it starts out on the outer half and just breaks right through the middle, as you mentioned. Just a beautiful pitch. Here's the delivery of the pitch. Just low. So Callister's worked the count full, so everybody will be running here. A shot in the gap could clear the bases.
Yeah, big pitch coming up here. We got a full count, 2 outs. A base hit almost guarantees the runner scoring from second, especially with the speed out there. And also speed on first base, to where if we get a ball in the gap or one the outfielders misplay, we could definitely see the bases getting cleared here.
Here's the pitch. It's a line drive right to the Castro at short, who makes the play. So that'll be the end of the inning. Cedar will score 1 run here in the bottom half of the 3rd. That'll take us to a 7-3 ball game. We'll be back to the top half of the 4th here in a moment.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
I always believe if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Oh, cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Desert Hills Thunder Baseball Stadium. We're at the top of the 4th inning with a 7-3 lead for the Desert Hill Thunder. We had a little bit of controversy in that 3rd inning, but we're able to work through that. Controversial play as there was a hit to left field by Desert Hills, had a runner coming home, but Cedar cut it off, and it's kind of a bang-bang play. They got an out at 3rd. The ump said that the run scored before the out, but we just got confirmation of a photo that's hitting social media right now.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
Yeah, it was. Fillmore was a good probably 5 or 6 steps away from home plate, as you could see in the same frame that the runner was getting tagged out, which that one's one of those just awkward ones as an umpire, to where you'd love to have eyes everywhere. And I mean, ideally you would love to, like, obviously get every call right, but that's one where everyone's looking at the play right there, to where I don't know, that's just a tough play overall.
Well, and it's interesting that it's right in the same view too, because the play's at 3rd and you got home. I mean, it's easier to see, and so
yeah. And where your Cedars bench is down the first base line, they see the clear view of both things happening simultaneously, to where they could totally see what actually happened in that play.
Well, here Reed steps into the batter's box. There's a sinking line drive, and that's going to fall in. Takes the glove off of the left fielder out there in center left field.
First baseman number 3.
Boy, he's been stinging the ball really well.
Yeah, great line drive there by Hagen Reed. Really just hard hit. I mean, took the left fielder's glove off. That's one of those that's awkward as a left fielder. That ball's dipping to your right really hard as he hits like a low line drive, and just tries to backhand that one, and looks like it got him right up on the wrist, the heel area of the glove, and it's down for single.
Yeah, he's out there shaking his hand. That caught him on the wrist, you can tell. Here's the pitch to Wall, catches the inside corner for strike 1. Well, this was the part of the order that really got things going for Desert Hills an inning ago. Wall steps into the batter's box here. Mackert delivers a curveball in there for a strike, buckled him. So 0-2 now as Mackert's got ahead of Wall.
Yeah, that one just a little bit on the inside of the plate, just barely catches the inside edge, and Wall finds himself down 0-2.
So Mackert on the mound delivers. Here's a fastball ripped down the 3rd baseline, but foul.
Good swing there by Wall. Hard line drive. Seen a lot of hard line drives to the left fielder today. He's getting his work out there.
Definitely gonna be tired by the time he hits home.
Oh yeah, 3 games in 2 days is no joke.
Well, that will leave the count at 0-2 for Wall. Here's the delivery of fastball off the end of the bat and out of play. That time they had Reed going.
Yeah, Both teams really being aggressive on the bases so far. I mean, they know each other well. Like we said, this is the 5th time they've played this season. They know each other's catchers. They know probably each other's pitchers at this point. And
there's an off-speed pitch fisted into right field to Riggs. He's on the charge, makes a nice catch for the putout.
Another player that's getting his work out there is the right fielder, like you said, making a lot of great plays so far today.
Yeah, that Riggs, he's made several nice catches out there today. That could almost be, you know, a defensive player of the game. Many put out. I bet that's like his 9th or 10th put out in the 2 games. He's really been active.
Yeah.
So that brings up Wells, who steps into the batter's box now. Goes to bunt, but it hit him while he was in the batter. Hit the bat twice. It went on the ground and then bounced back up and hit the bat. So that's considered a foul ball. You don't see that one very often.
Yeah, no. I mean, we've had a couple anomalies here so far in the game. That one, like I said, that one that's just gets bunted straight down. You don't even have time to move, and it comes back up and hits you while you're still in the batter's box, which causes the foul ball. If the batter was to take the step and get out of the batter's box, then the batter would be called out.
Yeah.
But where he's still in the batter's box, didn't really even have time to start his stride over to first base, just comes back up with an 0-1 count.
I've seen more get called out than I have see a double bunt. Like, here's a swing and a miss, and then a throw down to second as the runner goes to second. He's in there safely. So now we have Reed at second base in scoring position with Wells at bat with an 0-2 count. One out here in the top half of the 4th inning. Wells digs in, and Mackert delivers, and it's popped up to the right side of the infield. The second baseman is under it, calls for it, makes the play. So that'll be the second out of the
now
inning.
hitting left fielder number 23, Landon Musgrave.
Now Musgrave's come to the plate. Musgraves, who's really had a great series overall. He was the winning pitcher last night in the game, and now he comes up and he's been really hitting good all series long, even getting back to last week and really the second half of the season. Musgrave's a guy you know him for his pitching. He comes in, he's the Thunder's ace so far this year, and then he's also doing it, helping himself out, helping other guys on the staff out.
Well, and he's been hitting the ball hard too. I mean, he's been out 0 for 2 for this game, but he's hit it deep to center, deep to right. He's really got a good eye right now at the plate. As Mackert delivers, here's an off-speed pitch in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, just missed the one his last at bat.
Yeah, he was on the fence.
Right on the fence, yeah. Just barely got a little bit under it, but
looks like the wind's now shifted and blowing a little out towards right field.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe going to help him out.
Yeah, we could see.
Mackert deals and delivers. Here's a fastball driven right back at the pitcher, who makes a great play, throws it over to first. And just like that, the Reds are out of the inning. So after 3.5 innings of baseball, the Desert Hills Thunder lead 7-3. We'll be back here in a little bit for the bottom of the 4th inning.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
Did you know that St. George News has a
Finley Hyundai, or visit our website at finleyhyundaistgeorge.com. Everybody's doing it.
All right, we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning as the Desert Hills Thunder lead the Cedar Reds 7-3. Tyson Tate mound for the Thunder. He started this game. Coming up for the Thunder, or excuse me, for the Reds will be Giles, the number 2 batter in the lineup. 2, 3, 4.
Leading up for the Reds, number 3,
for the Cedar Reds.
Yeah, and Giles, as we've seen today, a real threat on the base path. If he gets on base, it's almost guaranteed he's going to get in scoring position with the speed he has, and really just a great base runner overall.
Well, you can see why they had him at the leadoff spot, so they can get him on, cause some havoc. Here's the first pitch, just a little high. You can see where he can really put some pressure on the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And now he drops back to the 2 spot, which is also a great spot to put a lot of balls in play. To where if that leadoff guy does get on, then you have also the bunt base hit threat with Giles up.
Here's the second pitch in the dirt, so 0-2 or 2-0 now. Here's the delivery for the third. That's fouled off to the right side. Brings the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and it's grounded to short. DeCastro comes up with it cleanly over to first for the first out.
Good play there by DeCastro. Fields it cleanly, gets it out quick, knowing the speed of Giles running up the base path, and beats him by a couple steps.
Yeah, that's something number 16, with Giles in the batter's box, you know as a defender you got to come up with a clean. If not, he'll have the bag easy. But you're right, he's got great speed. He got down that line quickly. Brings up Bunnell, who was 0 for 2 here in game 2 with the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Big swing right there. Looking to do some damage on that swing. Good pitch by Tate to keep with the off speed to keep him off balance.
Tate in the motion, rocks and delivers. There's a fastball, check swing to the down to the first baseman, makes the play. Wall does, steps on the bag for out number 2.
Another weird little baseball thing that doesn't happen too often. A little check swing right there. Doesn't go all the way around, ball up and in on his hands, and just a little slow roller to bow wall over at first base.
It's one of those things that you go back to the dugout as a hitter and you go, what was I doing?
Exactly, because that's one that if he leaves it, lets it go, it's going to be a ball.
Yeah. Here's the pitch to Lunt for a strike. So Tate really focused this bottom half of the 4th inning so far. Pitch number 2 fouled off, so quickly 0-2 on Lunt.
Yeah, and this is a big batter to get down right here. Good job of working ahead, got the 0-2 count. As we know, Cedar scored their run last inning with 2 outs already and started with a guy on first.
There's the delivery and the pitch, swing and a miss for the 3rd out. So quick inning for the Thunder. That'll take us to the top of the 5th inning with Desert Hills leading 7-3. We'll be back after this 1-minute break.
New app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
Everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Thunder Field. We are at the top of the 5th inning with the Desert Hills Thunder leading 7-3.
We got Titan Tate coming up to the plate.
There's the first pitch in the dirt for ball one.
Yeah, the pitcher today, and the transfer actually, first year at Desert Hills from Sky Ridge up there in the 6A. They were the #1 overall seed in the 6A state tournament this year.
There's pitch number 2, line down the left field line. That's going to fall in. That could be 2. Tate rounds first. He's headed into second with no throw, so he's in for a stand-up double.
Yeah, great piece of hitting there. Not hit super hard, but just right over the third baseman's head. Gets down in that corner. The left fielder makes a good play on it. Slips as he's making the play, but he's able to control the wet grass out there and gets it in time.
Well, as you can hear, the wind's picked up now, blowing going west to east almost. As Thompson steps into the batter's box, with Tate on second base after that stand-up double. Thompson squares to bunt, fouls it off. Thompson last at bat reached on an air by the shortstop from Cedar, and he was part of that batter's interference earlier in the second inning. So
yeah, the Thunder are doing a great job of getting their leadoff men on all throughout this game. Now it's time to capitalize. That's only the first half of the equation right here, as Thompson hits a hard ground ball.
Tate tries to go from second to third, and they throw him out at third base. So great play by the Cedar shortstop. I'm not sure why Tate took off. That ball's in front of him. The golden rule is you got to make sure it gets through.
Yeah, and I think that was the courtesy runner right there, Clough. It was in Tate's position. But yes, I see exactly what you mean. That was especially that one hit super hard, one hop right to the shortstop. And the rule of thumb is a runner on second. If it's to your right and more towards the third base side, you go back and you get back on, especially on a ball hit that hard.
Yep.
And if it's on your left behind you, then you can make the run and go for third. But yeah, good play by the shortstop over there, Bunnell, just to turn, flip it, throw it, and really get it out at third.
Yeah, and that's a huge out, having a guy in scoring position. That brings in Fillmore, who lifts one into right field. Riggs is over. He's diving for it, makes the catch. We've come to expect that from him today with an awesome catch, Sports Center type highlight.
Yeah, another just diving play out there by the right fielder. I mean, that one was a weird one with the wind. They really just picked up right here in the last 5 minutes or so. That one kind of stayed up there, a little bit tougher of a read with the wind, and makes a great play on there. Keep the runner at first. Now we got 2 outs with the Southern Idaho commit, Cole DeCastro, coming to the plate.
Well, and those folks at home that don't know much about Southern Idaho, you think, oh, geez, it's Idaho. They don't play. CSI has a great baseball program.
Great baseball program.
They are usually nationally ranked, always good. I mean, they bring in a lot of quality kids up there, and their program is really, really good.
Yeah, a junior college program that brings on a lot of kids, and it's a 2-year program. They send them out, and a lot of those kids will go up ending up playing at the bigger schools in Utah, like Utah, BYU, Utah Tech, some of these other D1 colleges. So
here's a pitch inside. Yeah, when my son played for Utah State Eastern, they had a kid that starting pitcher went and played for Vanderbilt.
Oh, wow.
He was 6'4", 250, big kid. Probably was a great thing. I'm not going to say, but,
yeah.
But he was lights out, dominant. He was pitcher of the year for the SWAC conference. But they just have an awesome program up there. They grow their grass extra long. I mean, it's like you're playing in a field, and they play to their advantage, their strengths up there.
Yeah, and it's a great division up there. You have Southern Idaho, you have Salt Lake Community, Southern Nevada, Utah Eastern, like you were saying, and also the pitch comes in high. And which one I'm forgetting?
The one in Colorado, Western Colorado.
Oh, yep.
But they're just out east of Vernal out there. Awesome. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I made the trip a couple times. It's quite adventurous.
It's definitely a trip.
There's a pitch, ball 4 to DeCastro, so he takes the John down to first, so that'll bring up Tyler Terry with 2 runners on, first and second. with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and Kyler, a couple of good hits already this game, both to the third base side of the field, left field. Had the line drive in that awkward play where the runner got tagged out at third, but this run scored. He was the one who had the hit on that, and then also a hard line drive right at the third baseman the time up before that.
Yeah, they've both been screamers the way he's been putting the bat on the ball. Here comes Macker with the delivery, off-speed pitch in for a strike.
Yeah, not surprised to see a first pitch curveball there to Terry after what he's done to the other 2 fastballs in his previous at-bats.
Macker toes the rubber, sets, and looks over at second, delivers home. Here's a fastball nubbed off the end of the bat, cued off second baseman, who can't make the play at second, but does get Terry out at first for the 3rd out. So that'll take us to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Desert Hills leaves 2 on with the score leaving at 7-3. We'll be back right after this from your local messages.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bride Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
I'm Aaron Crane, host of the Region 10 Recap. Want to relive the highlights of the game? Look for the Region 10 Recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
.org.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the bottom half of the 5th inning. We're here at Desert Hills High School with Desert Hills leading the Cedar Reds 7-3. Cedar brings up in the bottom half of the 5th inning. This would be Burgess, who takes the first pitch, grounds it to DeCastro, comes up with a cleanly nice scoop by Wall over at first for the 1st out.
And that's the ideal start for Titan Tate right there. Your 5th inning, your pitch count's getting up there a little bit. I don't have the exact number on what he's at, but first, anytime you can get a 1 pitch, 1 out, that's the ideal situation as a pitcher.
Well, we're starting to see Tate really starting to get into a groove.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last inning, it was 3 up, 3 down. I don't think he threw over 9 pitches.
No, I don't think so either.
And already 1 pitch, 1 out here as the first pitch to Mackert is outside for a ball.
Yeah, and I think if you're Coach K from Desert Hills, you're riding Tate for as long as that pitch count will let him go. I mean, he's been in control of the game. Doesn't look fatigued at all. He's pitching on his normal day. He is the Friday starter for Desert Hills. He's conditioned to do this, went the distance last time that he was out, and so I think you just keep riding with him until the pitch count says you can't anymore.
Yeah, I completely agree. Here's ball 2, just low. Tate delivers. Here's a strike on the outer half. So 1-2 is the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Wind is now shifted and blowing out to left. So here's a swing and a miss by Macker. That would look inside, but he fisted that one off for strike 2.
Yeah, and that's a pitch you've seen Tate getting a lot of swings and misses or a lot of foul balls on, is that fastball up and in. And that's where, as a right-handed pitcher, if you're throwing a lot of those off-speed pitches, a lot of those curve balls, a little split finger, that's where that fastball looks like it's coming in a lot harder than it actually is, especially up on the hands.
There's a fastball in the outer half, fouled off by Macker. Stays alive at 2-2.
And those are the ones that look like beach balls as a hitter. After you're getting a lot of off-speed, low in the zone, you see fastballs outside, and that one comes in right inside, high and inside on your hands. You're looking at the house with the solar panels and the trampoline out there to send it out to. So,
are you saying you've hit one of those before?
No, I can't say I have. But
there's a drive by Mackert. He gets into it. Musgrave goes back, and it is gone. on.
And right on cue. He heard us. He heard us talking about it right in front of that house out there. Might be a little bit of an announcer's curse right there if you're Desert Hills, or you'd love to see it. You want me to keep saying that if you're Cedars fans right here.
No kidding. You're Nostradamus. You can predict the future right there.
I'm in the wrong industry if that's true.
That's right. You need to go to Vegas, my friend. That was a shot by Mackert as he lifts that one about 335 feet down the left field. That was our Jason Baum of the game. Proud supporter. Jason Baum is Jason Bay Home Equity Loans. We'll also name that the Bin Blaster blast of the game.
Yeah, definitely so far. Great swing right there.
So just like that, Cedar takes a run away from the Thunder. We're now at 7-4.
And this is where, as a pitcher, you just have to flip the script. Just like we were talking about earlier in the game, playing the doubleheader. This is where, okay, you still have a 3-run lead. You still have an out. No one's on. Kind of a little good reset for you. And now it's just go after this guy and get the next out.
There's a grounder by Mackert down to the third baseman, who comes up with it, fires across the wall, gets the second out. So like you mentioned there, good job by Tate just regrouping after that shot.
Yeah, and good play there by Terry. A slow roller right to him. Takes his time knowing the runner that he has in the box and beats the runner out by a step.
Well, that'll bring up Riggs, the right fielder, who's been just magical out in right field on the day. Last at bat, he was hit by a pitch, and his first at bat, he walked. So he's been on base both times, but just had a wonderfully great game, or day, as far as defensive right field goes. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off, even the count at 1-1.
Yeah, and I have a feeling his day out there in right field isn't quite over yet, as we're only here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Thunder will get a couple more at-bats, and I'd be willing to bet he gets a couple more plays out there.
Well, you predicted a home run by the solar panels, and sure enough, you did. Here's the pitch just outside. But I'm not ever going to second guess you. You know what you're talking about. It just happens.
Hey, even the broken clock's right twice a day, so there you go.
Here's the windup and the delivery, and that's fisted foul, so that evens the count at 2-2. Tate still has good movement on that fastball. Been able to move that in and out on these Cedar Red hitters just to keep them enough off balance. Tate toes the rubber and delivers off speed, and he got him for a strikeout for the third out of the inning. So 1 hit, 1 run for the Reds. The score is 7-4 as we go to the top of the 6th. We'll be back right after these messages from our local sponsors.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
I always believe if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Desert Hills Thunder baseball field. We're at the top of the 6th inning. Thunder leading 7-4. We just saw a massive 330-foot shot home run by the starting pitcher, or not starting pitcher, but the pitcher now for Cedar, Mackert. Was able to lift one down the left field line for a home run. Cut into that deficit. Coming up for Desert Hills, we have number 24. That's Reed, who is digging into the box. So far on the day, Reed has walked, singled twice, so he's 2 for 2 on the day. Here's the pitch, high and tight for ball 1.
Yeah, and this is a big inning for the Thunder here. You want to, you only have a 3-run lead right now, and as we've seen in the series, no lead is safe, but especially you'd like to get at least a couple more runs, put another crooked number up on the box score, and extend the lead here.
There's the delivery, high and tight again, so 2-0 on the count.
And on the other side, if you're Cedar, you really don't want to let the Thunder do that because, I mean, 3 runs is a lead that you've came back from before in the last inning before, and this is something that you know is doable. And you got to hold them there. You don't want to score any more runs right here.
Well, not only that, they've done that in the last 2 games, too.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So it's not only something that they know they can do, or it's a possibility, it's something that they're confident in and that they've done before.
Absolutely. So, again, another pitch high and tight, so 3-0 to Reed as he digs into the box here. Here's the delivery inside again, so 4 straight balls. Reed continues his great day at the plate here in game 2. 2 walks and 2 hits.
Now hitting first baseman number 3, Bo Wall.
And Mackert helped himself out in the the bottom half of the last inning as we saw the home run, as we so boldly predicted, I guess. So
yes,
boldly called, but he's trying to help himself out here and keep the lead at just 3 runs.
I'm telling you, you knew it was coming. Here's the delivery, and that's caught the inside corner to Wall, so that's 1 strike, no balls, 1 strike. Would not be surprised to see Reed on the move here as the Thunder have been aggressive this afternoon here in game 3. Mackert toes the rubber and delivers home. Wall squares the bunt, and Reed was going to take off, but they throw down to first. He gets back just in time. And that pitch was a strike, so that is now 0-2 for Bo Wall.
Yeah, and the decision by Coach Cave there to give the bunt sign, that's where you just try to get the runner in scoring position there to try to get the lead at least up to 4 by this inning. I'm surprised they didn't go with the stolen base option, as Reed already has a stolen base on the game today, but 2 strikes. We'll see if he sends them here.
There's the pitch just up, so that brings it to a 1-ball, 2 strike count.
Yeah, Wall 1 for 2 on the day already, 2 RBIs and a run scored. So having quite the day over there. A couple good defensive plays as well.
There's the pitch, curveball in for strike 3. Throw down to second on the steal, and he's safe. Reed just slides in under the tag, so that was a bang play down to second, but they do get the 1 out on the strikeout of Wall, which is a big out. He's been a thorn in their side today, but Reed does advance into scoring position at second.
Yeah, and a good throw there right there by the Cedar catcher Callister, just half a step too late because of the great jump as we saw by Reed.
That'll bring up Wells into the batter's box, who's 0 for 3 here in game 2. Pitch delivered by Mackert is outside for ball 1.
And that play right there with Wall swinging does change the catcher's approach just a little bit with seeing the swing. It's not something you'd really think about as a catcher, but it's just subtly doing that. And that's really like your sacrifice bunt that Coach Cave tried to put down. Now you got the runner on second and 1 out.
Well, that's why I thought the throw was so impressive, because of it was bang, and with the swinging strike 3. Here's a pitch and a grounder down third base, just foul. So that'll put Wells in at a 1-1 count now. Reed is on second with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning.
And Wells, a senior who has an RBI on the day on a sac fly earlier in the game. See if he can do the same, get another RBI here for the Thunder.
All right, Mackert delivers, and it's just outside, so that brings the count to 2-1.
You saw Reed there on the last play, right before the pitch was thrown, getting a couple leads, thinking about taking third there, but the pitcher looked back at him, held him there. His pitch is inside for a strike.
Boy, that just caught the corner there on Wells, so that brings the count to 2-2. Here in the bottom, or top of the 6th inning, Desert Hills leading 7-4. We have Reed on second base. Mackert toes the rubber here for Cedar, sets and delivers. Curveball up, Reed stealing for third, and he's in safely. Thought the ball got past the third baseman, wanted to go home, but was told to stay.
Nice job, Hagen.
Good thing he did, or else he'd been thrown out.
Yeah, that was one that great read there by Hagen Reed. He saw the off-speed pitch out of the hand, takes a couple shuffles, and takes off for third. Would have had been a perfect throw to get him. It wasn't. Third baseman stops it, and yeah, he almost takes off home while the ball was in the catcher or in the third baseman's mitt. Heads up play there to stay on third.
Here's the next pitch to Wells, and that's up for ball 4. So Wells will be down to first.
Now hitting left fielder
Desert Hills
number 23,
has
Landon
runners
Musgrave.
on first and third with one out, with Landon Musgrave coming up for the Thunder.
Yeah, and Musgrave 0 for 3 on the day so far, but has had a couple of really good at-bats. Just missed a couple of good hits. Right fielder made a couple good plays on him, and I think he's due for an RBI here, but we'll see.
Well, he's looking for one to fall. You know, the first game he was hitting the cover off the ball. He's hit it solidly here in game 2, just right at people.
As we get the mound visit here from the Cedar coach. I think this is more just kind of a strategy meeting to see. You got first and third, so this is a situation where it'd be likely to run for the Thunder. And as you see the Thunder hitters and the runners meeting up as well, talk over a little bit of strategy here. Because this is where, as a Thunder with one out, this is one where you'd almost want to give up a run, give up an out to score the run here to get that 4-run lead, make it to where they're going to have to pump up a little more over the last 2 innings in order to tie the game up. But it'll be interesting to see what the strategy is here for both teams.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Wells go like he's stealing and stop halfway down through, but here's the throw over to first. Just to try to bait a throw, get in a hot box to score that run, like you were saying.
Yeah, and on that, you see Musgrave, as the pitcher came set, looked like he was squaring to bunt. See if he does it again, and he does.
Musgrave squares, and the runner goes, throws down to second base. It's cut off, though, but we get a balk call, so that's going to score the run. Reed comes into home, and Wells ends up on second. So after that mound visit, all the strategy just goes right out the window.
Yeah, and I didn't see quite what the pitcher did there. We kind of have the umpire blocking our view a little bit of the pitcher here, but the balk was called. What that play was right there was a fake bunt steal, it looked like, from the Thunder, and so that way it brings it infield, gets him focused on the batter, and then the runner steals just really right behind. He would have been safe on the throw regardless, but yeah, the pitcher balks and scores the runner there for the Thunder.
So here's Macker with the delivery, and Musgrave takes a strike. So just to reset for you, with Desert Hills does get a run. They're now at 8-4 here in the top of the 6th inning. Wells, the center fielder, is on second base with Landon Musgrave at the plate for the Thunder. Here's the pitch, high and outside for ball 1.
And like you said, all the strategies kind of goes right out the window right there. Now Musgrave's just up there, and he's just looking to get something good he can hit and score the run that's out there on second. This is a big spot for Cedar right here. You really don't want the lead to get too out of hand right here, as it's already at 4 runs with only 2 at-bats left in the game.
Macker at the mound delivers, and that's in the dirt. Nice block by the Cedar catcher, Callister, to make a stop on the play. Otherwise, Wells would have been on third.
Yeah, and an impressive game so far for Callister overall. I mean, I know there's been some stolen bases on both sides, but I mean, those ones, there's stolen bases that are on the pitcher and there's stolen bases that are on the catcher, and there hasn't been too many that have been on the catcher so far in this game, and great block right there to keep the runner at second.
Macker deals and delivers the ball in the dirt again, so that takes the count to 3-1. Again, another nice stop by Callister, the Cedar catcher.
Yeah, now Musgrave's just up there. 3-1 count, got your hitter's count, and you're just looking for something to mash. You want to get your pitch right here. You don't want to waste a pitch. You don't want to swing at one you don't think you can crush right here, so we'll see.
Yeah, he should be looking fastball, middle and away. Here's the pitch down low, so that'll send Musgrave down to first base with the base on balls.
Hitting number 14, Titan Tate.
The Fan Sports Network. KAZZA, Para 1, KONY, HD3 St. George.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you could still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
37J St. George.
And that'll bring a mound visit to for the Cedar Reds, and Macker will be lifted at this time. So we'll take a quick 30-second timeout and come back with your new pitcher for the Cedar Reds.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you could still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Hello? Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Welcome back, everybody, to Desert Hills Thunder baseball field. We are in the top half of the 6th inning. Desert Hills leading the score 8-4 as we have a pitching change for the Cedar Reds. They have brought in the center fielder, Giles, to replace Mackard on the mound. Cedar's trying to do everything they can to keep this as close as possible. Desert Hills has been able to push across 1 run in this top half of the 6th inning. But knowing they got 6 outs to work with, hold the Thunder at bay and try to advance on that score, it's going to be a tall task here as we are in the top half of the 6th inning here in game number 3.
Yeah, and with runners on first and second, where there's already an out in this inning, I mean, it really could come in and get a ground ball and you're out of the inning. So that's what the Giles is going to try to do here for Cedar, coming in from center field. Looks like he has a mix of 2 or 3 pitches right here, fastball, curveball, changeup from what I've seen in the warm-up so far, and looking to get the ground ball double play right here to get Cedar out of the inning and up to bat with 6 more outs to play for the Reds.
Well, enough for the Thunder will be Titan Tate. Tate, his last at bat, got a double, and he singled, and he's walked. So he's 2 for 2 on the day here in game number 2 for the Thunder.
Yeah, he's doing his part to help himself out there on the mound. Looking at the little preview of the bottom half of the inning, Tate is at 94 pitches so far. So we'll see how far he can get into that. If he has another quick inning like he's had the last few innings, you could see him finishing off the 6th inning and possibly going into the 7th. Like I said before, I'd imagine Desert Hills is just going to ride him to that 105 pitch count that we have at the high school level.
Yeah, my guess is they'll take him as far as they can go. And, after learning from what, taking Musgrave out last night and what the Cedar Red offense can do, they would be very smart, Desert Hills would be, to try to just ride him as long as you can.
Yeah, and looking ahead here a little bit, I think Kyler Terry would probably be the next in line to come in. He's the one that closed out the game last night at the very end after Turner came in and pitched for a little bit. Terry's the one who came and got the last 2 outs. So I'd imagine he would come in that closer type role again. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see how far Desert Hills can get this lead, as it's only 4 runs.
I was just going to say, I wonder if Musgrave could come in too and close if they need an inning out of him.
Yeah, I wonder. I would think, because with the high school pitch count rules, you would have to, I think he's on a rest count that he would have to be on. I think he'd probably be at 4 or 5 days. I'm not exactly sure on the rules about that, but.
Here's the pitch to Titan Tate, fouled back for strike 1.
That's something that you would see almost like a Madison Bumgarner type in the World Series, like where he's starts pitching, and then you see that a lot in the playoffs, especially college or MLB. But on the high school level, they have those protections for your pitcher's arms so that you aren't able to do that, have them required rest.
Here's Giles with the delivery down low, so that'll bring it to a 1-1 count to Tate.
That would be awesome to see, though.
Yeah.
To see have a guy like Musgrave who gave it his all last night. It was just only 1 run against the Reds and come and see him get the close, but that won't be the case tonight.
Giles toes the rubber, delivers high and tight, so that'll bring it to a 2-1 count. Yeah, Musgrave was just untouchable last night. He had 11 Ks, if I remember right. Just was mowing right along, and they made that change, and you know, Cedar got a break here and there, and next thing they knew, they had the, you know, within 1 run. Giles sets and delivers. Here's a drive into left field. That could be trouble. That's going to roll to the fence. That's going to be a stand-up double for Titan Tate. That will score 1 run. Here comes the second run. The relay coming to home plate. He's safe. Musgrave is safe. And the ball gets behind the catcher, and Tate advances to third.
And big hit right there by Tate. It's a nice line drive right into the left center gap.
Now hitting
stand up double, and then on the throw it gets past the catcher as they try to get the second runner coming around home, and Tate advances to third. Now we have 1 out with a 6-run lead for the Thunder, and that's got to feel good, especially if you're Tate, to run out there in the bottom half of the inning knowing that you just gave yourself an extra 2 runs to work with.
Yeah, he just helped his own cause right there and brings Thompson up. And now if you can just get at least a fly ball out of this, score another run. There's a ball in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, and as expected, you see the Cedar Reds infield in here trying to protect this 6-run deficit that they're facing right now, and definitely don't want to trade a run for an out here.
There's the pitch, fouled off by Thompson. Evens the count at 1-1. Well, you almost can read the body language now with the Cedar Reds. It's almost, you know, the slumped shoulders a little bit and just balls inside. You know, they're on their 5th pitcher now for the day.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a boxer. They've been fighting all day. Even since last night, they've just been fighting.
Here's a pitch ground right between third and short. That'll go in for a base hit and score another run. So Thompson comes through with a base hit RBI. And the Thunder go up 11-4.
Good swing there by Thompson, just to almost fist it just right in between the third base and shortstop there. Gets the RBI for his first hit on the day as we flip it to the top of the order as Jace Fillmore comes up, the sophomore.
Wow, good spot for Fillmore here too. Wouldn't be surprised. Coach Cave gets him in motion. He's like, uses the top half of the order to really get things going.
Yeah, especially where you have your selected pinch runner out there for the catcher Thompson. I think it's Kobe Goodman out there, and you can see he's getting his lead.
Here's Giles. He delivers off speed, and that's up a little for ball 1.
Yeah, elects not to go on that pitch. I wouldn't be surprised to see him put him in motion right here.
Well, the way Fillmore's been hitting in this second game, I would not hesitate to get him running. Here's the pitch. It's fouled off down the first base side. Evens the count at 1 apiece.
And even with these insurance runs, I mean, Cedar does still have 6 outs to work with when they come up bottom of the 6th, bottom of the 7th inning. As long as they can keep this lead, don't let it get to that 10-run rule mark, and they can keep it. They still have those six outs to work with.
Here's a throw over by Giles to send the pinch runner back. He's in safely. Giles toes the rubber, sets and delivers just low for ball 2, 2-1. A lot of young sophomores, as you mentioned, on this Desert Hills team. A lot of good experience these guys are getting for the future. Here's the pitch. It's high. The runner takes off towards second, slides down, and is in safely. Ball trickles out almost into center field there, but he is in safely, now in scoring position.
Yeah, and like you said, with all that sophomores getting that experience, like varsity baseball, like high school baseball is one of those things where people can tell you about it all they want, but you don't really understand, or there's nothing better than just getting that experience. And so for this strong sophomore class that the Thunder have, it'll be fun to see what they do in this tournament and also tournaments to come.
There's a fly ball to deep right field. That's under by Riggs. He makes the catch. The runner tags from second and advances to third. The Cedar was hoping he left early, but that was not the case. So that'll bring 2 down now, and that'll bring up Cole DeCastro, number 2 hitter in the lineup.
Yep, DeCastro's coming up to the plate, 1 for 2 on the day with a run as well as a walk. So having a pretty good day so far. Made a couple of really good plays at shortstop as well so far today.
Yeah, after just walking and the ground and getting out all 3 times in the first game, really responded well here in the second. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll say that's what you need from your seniors, especially a player like DeCastro, is that, like we said, this team is very young, where these kids are looking up to you, where DeCastro is one of those kids who does have varsity experience from the time he was a sophomore, and he can relate to a lot of these kids, and so they're going to be looking at you to seeing how you respond after, especially the first game they had, and seeing him come out, he got a hit his first at-bat to lead off the game, and I think that really set the tone for the Thunder throughout the game.
Yeah, I agree with it. Here's a pitch and a drive up center field. That'll fall in, and so that'll bring another Thunder run home, and DeCastro gets a sharp single up the middle and an RBI.
Number 5, Kyler Terry.
And the Thunder, Coach Cave's coaching over there like it's a 1-0 game right now, because they need to get as many runs as they can right here. Tate's pitched a really strong game, but he's up there on a little bit higher of a pitch count, and I mean, like we said, the leads have been hard to save this series so far, so I don't think anyone's going to be satisfied or know what the outcome of this game is going to be until all the outs have been played, all 7 innings are over.
Yeah, it looks like they there's a check says, foul tips it into the catcher's mid, and it looked like DeCastro was going to go, but stops for strike number 1. So an 0-1 count here to Terry, Kyler Terry.
Yeah, Terry 2 for 4 on the day, RBI and a run scored. It's a lot of hard hit balls today, even the ones that weren't hits, just getting hard contact on his outs.
Boy, DeCastro was leaning there. They threw over, had a little hiccup over there, but got back in time. Made it a little closer than I needed to be, yeah, I think.
The split second, just fat doubt right there, but he gets back in time.
There's Giles. There goes DeCastro. He pops it up. First baseman calls for it, camps under it, and makes the play for the 3rd out of the inning. So after 5.5 innings, the Thunder score 5 runs. They lead 12-4. We'll be back right after this break from our local sponsors.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. We have the Desert Hill Thunder leading 12-4 as Boyer steps into the box for the Cedar Reds, the number 9 hitter. Here's the first pitch called for a strike. Boyer thought that might have been a little on the outskirts there, but
yeah, 95th pitch of the game for Tate there. Like we said, it looks like they're just going to ride him out for as long as they can, and then it'll be interesting to see what their next move is.
There's the pitch by Tate, and it's outside and low for ball 1. Tate toes the rubber, stretches and delivers curveball in there for a strike, so that's strike 2.
Great pitch right there from Tate. Really has had command of that curveball all day, and really all of his off-speed pitches. I mean, he's let's see, he only has 1 walk on the day, which is incredible through what's going to end up being 105 pitches.
Here's the swing and a miss for strike 3 by Boyer. So Tate gets the first out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Number 1, Kyler Callister.
Yeah, great job by Tate there to get the quick strikeout. I mean, ideally, if he could get out of this inning to where the new pitcher for the Thunder could come in with a clean slate, just as his new inning in the closing role, get 3 outs. He's sitting at 98 pitches right now. It's something that's definitely feasible if he can get a quick out here.
There's the first pitch right back to the pitcher. Tate goes over to first and gets Callister, the leadoff batter, for the 2nd out.
And talk about a quick out, 1 pitch, 1 out once again for Tate. Really ideal situation. Now with how the pitch count works, you can't start a new batter after 105 pitches to where he's only at it's going to be his 99th pitch right here, and he'll be able to finish out this batter if he can.
That brings up Giles, who was the relief pitcher. It was also in center field. Here's a swing and a miss. It's popped down the first base line. Ball gives it a look as it goes out of play.
Yeah, and Giles, it won't be an easy out to get Giles out right here. One for 3 on the day. Got that lightning speed like we saw early on in the game with 2 stolen bases in the same inning.
There's Tate with the off-speed pitch. It's fouled off to the right side again. So 0-2 count here for Giles. As you can hear, that wind is picked up. It's blowing now back into south, kind of a east-southeast. So anything in the air will probably be kept in the ballpark. Here's the pitch by Tate. Split finger, that was down in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, and you can see, like you said earlier at the top half of the inning, that Cedar dugout is just, the mood is somber over there. I mean, they've battled. I mean, you got to give them credit. Obviously, you never know what could happen still, but I mean, they've been fighters all throughout this series, even up until this, they still have 4 outs to work with, so I'm not counting anyone out, but just give them credit for what they've done so far with the fight they've had coming down here to St. George in the heat and just really battling, giving Thunder everything they could handle.
Yeah, great job by Giles as he's battled at this at bat. He's now worked the count full to 3-2. Tight's probably got to be around 103, well, about 102. There's a fastball grounder to the third baseman. Kyler Terry comes up with it, fires over to Wall, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So we'll go top to 7th. The Desert Hills leading 12-4. We'll be back right after this from our local sponsors.
Ask any mom how much they love hosting a kid's birthday.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bride Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
I'm Aaron Crane, host of the Region 10 Recap. Want to relive the highlights of the game? Look for the Region 10 Recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Desert Hills Stadium. We have the Desert Hills Thunder, the visiting team, here in Game 2 of the best-of-3 series, Super Regional. Leading off the top of the 7th inning for Desert Hills
Leading off for the Thunder
will be Kyler Terry, who made the last out of the inning. Excuse me, I got that mixed up. It's Reed who will lead off this next inning.
And yeah, we got down to our last inning. It's been a long series for these teams. I mean, a lot of pitches thrown, a lot of runs scored, a lot of good plays made, and we'll see if the Thunder can get a couple more insurance runs, because I promise, like, no one's over there. I know it's an 8-run lead, but a couple more would still feel good here, especially for the coaching staff over at Desert Hills.
Well, Reed, his last at bat, he walked and then was brought home by, well, they had a flurry of hits last inning. They got 5 runs, so he was just a catalyst to get things going. He takes the ball there. It's 2-0. Here's the next pitch, fouled off into the dugout.
Ooh, off of someone's shin, it looks like.
Yeah, somebody's going to feel that one.
Thunder doesn't have a lot of protection over there with that one bar that the players rest on, but nothing underneath, no fence or anything to protect their shins. Looked like that one right off of someone's kneecap.
Surprised they don't have a little netting or something under there. Here's a pitch. It's popped up. Deep short, left fielder coming in. There's some confusion, but oh, a great catch by Bunnell at short for that first out.
Wow, really good play there by Bunnell. I thought that one, judging by the body language of the left fielder and the shortstop right there, I thought that one was going to drop, but great play by Bunnell to get back there, take charge, and make the play on that one for the first out.
Well, that'll bring up Bo Wall. He struck out his last at bat, but he's had a great second game here for the Thunder.
Yeah, 1 for 3, couple RBIs and a run scored. And really having a good defensive day over there at first base. First base is one of those positions where you don't really notice that they're playing well with the scoops or with some of the plays that they make, the good stretches, or just really being one of the captains of the infield. But Bo's doing a good job over there, saving a couple outs for the Thunder.
There's a swing and a miss on a fastball for strike 1. Yeah, first base gets so much action. If you have give up any plays over there, it just seems to extend innings, and Wall's done a nice job. Here's a pitch, and it's lined into left field for a base hit. So Wall stays hot. Yeah, 2 for 4 on the day.
Now hitting.
Or I should say on this game.
Now we got Wells, the senior, coming up to bat. 0 for 2, but he's done his work. He has a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. So pretty productive day for Wells. Even though he's hitless up until this point, he's been making his impact on the Thunder's offensive day so far.
Well, it just keeps you in the lineup. You know, coach recognizes those things. And here's the first pitch, off speed for a strike on the outer half.
Good pitch there by Giles, starting off with a curveball on the outside part of the plate right there.
And there goes Wall. Here's a fly ball into left field. Drifting back is the left fielder. He camps under it, makes the catch. Wall retreats back to first base. So that'll be the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and this is where maybe normally in a region game or a preseason game, you might not see a team stealing with an 8-run lead in the 7th inning, but where this is a winner-go-home game, you're doing everything you can to score as many runs as possible in this game. And I think both sides respect that too, because that's something that, I mean, it's like one of those unwritten rules in baseball where there's a lot of unwritten rules in baseball, but I think everyone knows what's at stake here. Everyone knows that's a winner go home game, and I don't think anyone has a problem with that.
So here's Giles. He throws over to first. They've caught Wall off of first base. He's in a pickle now, a run down. They fake it and throw it down to first, and they get him on the tag. So Musgrave won't get an at-bat, his last at-bat. A little disappointed. But with that said, we'll go to the bottom half of the 7th inning with the Desert Hills Thunder leading 12-4. We'll be back right after this.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
I always believe if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today.
everybody. Welcome back to Desert Hills Thunder Baseball Stadium. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning here with the Desert Hills Thunder leading the Cedar Reds 12-4. We are 3 outs away from extending an invitation to the Desert Hills Thunder to the state 4A baseball playoffs.
We have Hoyt Atkin coming in for the Thunder, the freshman. He actually closed out the last pitcher in the first game of the day. He went 2 innings, no hits, no runs, and 3 strikeouts. So in the few outings he's had this year for the varsity squad, Hoyt Atkins made the most of it. So we'll see what he can do here with an 8-run lead, and as the Reds are down to their last 3 outs.
For the Reds, number 16, Coulter Bunnell.
Well, Bunnell will come up. Probably his last at-bat of the year. Bunnell on the day for this game has grounded out twice and struck out. So he'd really like to probably end this one on a base hit. Here's the first pitch, and it's inside.
And as we've seen from the Reds, they're not going to go down without a fight, especially right here with the 3, 4, 5 heart of their order coming up. I think this is a big first batter. And obviously there's a long way to go, 8 runs to come back and to extend this game, but it starts with 1. Can't score 8 runs on 1 hit, so we'll see what the leadoff batter can do here.
There's a pitch and a swing and a miss, so count goes to 1-1.
And a really good pitch right there. Comes back with the changeup, just sits at your knees, looks good, and then just totally falls out of the zone from the big left-hander. And Hoyt's going to be one of those guys that he's been on a low pitch count today. He only threw 2 innings. He's going to probably get an inning here of work for the Thunder. And he's going to be one of those guys, along with some of these other underclassmen of the Thunder, that's going to have to step up for the Thunder to make a run, especially going through Musgrave and Tate in the series, to where they're not going to have them available on Monday.
Well, they're definitely going to need all those arms up there when they get up for the playoff. Here's a pitch, and it's popped up on the infield. It looks like Fillmore is under. It calls for it, makes the play for out number 1.
Now batting number 10, Coden Lunt.
Here comes Coden Lunt, the first baseman, coming up. Made some good plays over at first base for the Reds today. Another unsung hero of the Reds playing first base.
Here's the first pitch, and that's fisted over to Fillmore at second. Throw over to Wall at first for the second out. So 1 pitch, another second out.
An inning going perfectly so far for Atkin. I mean, got to come in here. Got to go right at the hitters. The last thing you want to do is get behind, start walking guys, having to throw across the center of the plate. But he's doing everything he needs to. Now the Reds are down to their last out of the season.
Well, I think Lunt was just glad to have Tate out. He had struck out 3 times. So here's a drive into left field. It's down the left field line. Terry goes over, and DeCastro comes running in to make the catch. So that'll be the ball game, with Desert Hills Thunder defeating the Cedar Reds by the score of 12-4. The win advances Desert Hills to the 4A state playoffs. Next week they play at 12:30 or 3:30.
One of the two. I can't.
I think it's at 3.
Yeah, up
on Monday.
Miller Park.
Yeah. So if you plan on going up next week, travel safely. We'll be back with our post-game show right after this.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you could still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Waxes. Don't forget, with every wash, get 10 cents off per gallon of gas at Fabulous Freddy's.
Hello. There we are. We're back. at Desert Hills Thunder Baseball Stadium as the Desert Hills Thunder have defeated the Cedar Reds in Game 3 of this Super Regional by a score of 12-4 and advanced to the 4A state playoffs next week. Jackson, we got a few awards to give out. What are your thoughts on the game, and what are you, as you're, to recap the game, what are your thoughts?
I think that was the first full game the Thunders played so far this series. They've played a lot of good half games or maybe even 3/4 games in the first 2 games of the series, but that was the first full game they put together. A lot of credit to Titan Tate out there. He went 6 innings, though he went the distance, max pitch count, and just really played well on the mound and up to bat. And so I think that was a key for the Thunder, and they look pretty good going into the playoff. It'll be interesting to see how that pitching situation pans out as they used their more prominent pitchers over the series. But a lot of credit to the Cedar Reds for making them do that and really just battling till the very end.
Yeah, the Cedar Reds really battled all day long, pushing this to 2 games today. So, but let's talk about a couple of awards we need to give out here. First of all, our defensive play of the game. Did you have anything that stood out to you that really?
Defensive play of the game. There wasn't one necessarily. I don't think that stood out. I think that the right fielder for Cedar, Riggs, just overall on the day, just made a lot of highlight reel plays. I think I'd feel pretty comfortable giving him the award.
Yeah, I agree with you. He won it in the first game, and he flashed some leather again here in the second game. Just did a great job. So congrats to Riggs, the right fielder from Cedar, for our defensive player of the game. Our AWP Playmaker player of the game, who would you give that to?
I think you got to go with Titan Tate. I mean, he comes out here on the mound. He goes 6 innings, only gives up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, only 1 walk, which is just phenomenal over a 6-inning start, especially at this level, in this position, in a do-or-die game. To only let up 1 free pass is just incredible. As well as up to bat, he went 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a walk. So on base 4 out of 4 times he came up to the plate, and you really can't ask for a much better day than that as Titan Tate had today.
No, you can't. I completely agree with you. Well, I want to give a big shout out to this, we're getting down to some of our final games here in the baseball season, but do want to give a final shout out to some of our sponsors: Union Associates, House of Jump, Rally Stop, Bin Blasters, Jason Baum, Bay Equity Home Loans, You First Credit Union, Morgan Pest Control, who is our defensive sponsor, player of the game, Wilkinson House of Lighting, they're our scoreboard sponsor, Hearst Ace Hardware, player of the game, Adams Wealth Advisors, and Cache Valley Bank. We just want to mention these guys and thank them for their support throughout this year. As we sign off from Southern Utah, we will be up at the state playoffs next week with Devin Dixon and Mark Musgrave and Caden Formaster. Should be a great tournament. Please tune in to the Fan Sports Network, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.